Screaming. Oh shit, I forgot to mute the microphone.
Live!
That's how we always start.
That's how we start.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hey, how's it going?
And Ricardo.
Pretty good.
We're just talking over
I
here.
assume you're asking me.
I'm asking
because the
you.
audience can't respond.
Well, Matt didn't respond. How rudely? So I'm glad you did.
Wow.
So feels
Guys,
good.
we're all gonna be in very close proximity very, very soon. We should probably get along.
You two aren't in close proximity right now.
Nope.
No, but
Don't make the fanfickers think
The fan
that other things are going on. Is that what the kids call them today? What do they call them?
I'm a ship 'em.
A shipper. The shippers.
Ricardo is officially old now. He does not know what the kids call
I
them.
turned 30 over the weekend.
Yeah. 30.
Ricardo, it's been 2 weeks since our last podcast, and you and I have
whose
not
fault
spoken
is that?
since then.
Whose fault is that for getting a shitty Chromebook that apparently doesn't have any good software, and then didn't have the smarts to be like, hey, I've got a perfectly good working phone right here that records pretty good audio. I should probably just have that run in the background.
You know what? All these things would have.
It's all would have helped, but you know,
good
what are you gonna
ideas.
Do?
So, long story short, you probably know we've missed last week's podcast. I know you guys are.
I was out.
Well, yeah. Ethan was off gallivanting in the streets of San Diego, nude.
Yep, in the Gaslamp district.
He was. It
Letting
was
it all hang
fine
out.
because he was cosplaying.
As a character from Kill la Kill. As a character from Kill la Kill.
Yes. I was gonna say
a member of Nudist Beach.
I was gonna say Hugh Jackman in Wolverine Origins when he
also
escapes
good.
the Weapon X facility.
Did you have the slimy stuff on you as well?
I mean, that was just completely incidental.
You have to do that. I mean, it's the only way you can get away with it by saying I am clothed.
It was sort of an accidental cosplay, really, all around. If you think about it.
The shippers are already active in the chat.
We're already being shipped.
Fangirls. What can you do?
And boys.
About it?
Let's be honest.
This one's a fangirl.
True.
Speaking of
yeah,
being naked, running down the street.
Perfect transition.
Can't think of line. Okay, no, I don't have anything good to say.
Oh, damn it! I thought you were really going somewhere with that.
No,
one.
I was
potential.
I was reaching. Yeah, you know, you really want to know where that was going, didn't you?
Yes, I heard nude, and you had my full attention.
This is how essentially how we get Ricardo on every week for the podcast. Is we just say nude, and then Ricardo runs to Ethan's house.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I don't know how I'm gonna survive in Vegas. There's just signs that say that everywhere.
There are. There are a lot of that. We're gonna go see that. What's that show with the all the naked men?
Why are you looking at me?
Because I feel like you know more about Vegas than anyone else
I might know, but I'm gonna take
Isn't
a few
that like
seconds
the
so that I don't
Thunder
fire it
Down
off.
Under?
Thunder down
Thunder
under.
Down Under. Yeah, we'll go there.
Is that one the
There's
one?
that one.
No, there's also the show. There's also like the adults version of Cirque du Soleil, right? What's that one called?
Oh, that is
Sex du Soleil.
No. Fuck, Zoomanity.
Zoomanity, yeah.
Zoomanity by
Yeah,
Sex du Soleil.
Sex du Soleil. You know, Sex du Soleil is a good podcast name as well.
Sex du Soleil.
Yeah,
so how was Comic-Con, Ethan?
it was great. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of video game stuff there. I did go to Sea of Thieves panel, which was pretty cool, although it was... The thing about like panels that I've realized after going to so many is that like unless it's like a bunch of people, unless it's like a lot of people, unless you're like extremely into that thing and you love it and you will die for that thing and you'll be like, man, I can't get enough of Sea of Thieves. I play it 7 hours a day. Like I love Sea of Thieves or whatever. You'll be like, the panel's fine. You know, like it's okay unless like the people are really funny. Unless it's like a comedy improv, like it's maybe like someone from an improv show.
Right.
Is actually there. They'll actually be like, oh, this is entertaining and I'm having fun. Other than that, it's like, they're all fine.
I don't mind panels when they're like there's a professional mostly leading the conversation. My problem with most panels and other live like discussions is that I feel like it really breaks down when and if they go to audience questions.
Yes, it depends. It depends. I full cringe out, and in any stream I'm watching, that is when I turn off the stream.
It depends, because I feel like sometimes the panelists play it too safe, and they ask boring ass questions, or the
panelists,
moderator, because they're just wanting to.
So you
want
to get to the bottom.
I want to get to the. I want to get.
You want to get to the. What's on the minds of the fans? For
example,
I'm not here to baby you. Fucking Banjo Kazooie bastards!
I can get you
grabbed by the ghouly motherfuckers over here.
I can get you fired if I complain on Reddit enough. So you better answer all my demands.
Conker's bad fur day.
I was just saying,
assholes.
There was a lot of people there who were like, "We made Pirate Legend," and all the developers like, "We never made that. That's a lot of work. We're not gonna do that." But I will say that, for example, not video game related, but the Riverdale panel. the fan questions were great because they're all asked by like preteens who are like, what was the most fun you had on set, or what kind of things you guys do off set?
Will
Like,
you go to prom with
yeah,
me?
like stuff like that. And then this lady comes up and is just like, what do you guys want to do about the queer representation on Riverdale? And you guys understand there is queer baiting in your show and it has lots of problems. And I'm just like, oh shit. Oh shit. And then they just gave a shitty answer and it was great.
Like, we're thinking really
Yeah,
hard
so that's
about
what I mean.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
either way, it's cringing. You're either cringing on the side of who
Oh,
is
it's
asking
the
question,
best,
or
though.
It's
It's
cringing
the
on
I
best.
hate that kind
I
of.
hate
I
cr-
love
I
it.
hate cringe comedy. I can't
That's why
stand it. Yeah.
That's why I had to get out of the Daily Titan. You know, just too much
Wait,
our
what?
cringe going on.
God,
on
I do
there.
remember that.
Wait. What?
Let's say one of the copy
Didn't
editors.
we got out of the Daily Titan because we
No,
graduated. That was why we got out of the
I
Daily
could still
Titan.
be working there today. If I were.
It was a college newspaper that we were all in, and after you graduate, I do not think you're allowed to be on staff anymore unless you were hired by the university.
Well, can't leave the staff if you never graduate.
That's a good point.
And so the only reason you graduated is because there was
had to
Because of
leave.
our cringe. That's the only reason
single
I
one?
graduated.
Arcringe is a pretty good website.
Are you talking about There You Have It Titans? Because that was our cringe.
No.
That's not the same. That's not the person. That's the
no,
opposite.
that probably could have been on that Reddit, but
Didn't we post it? Didn't someone post on that Reddit?
I mean, I know one person that sat in the cubicle next to me who might have at
Yeah,
some point.
who
and
could
who
that?
was
I
also
couldn't possibly, even without Ricardo's hint, I couldn't possibly have guessed who would have ever
who was
posted
also
that.
on Reddit a lot, or was
Yeah.
on Reddit a lot at the time. And very
Dude,
appropriate sites.
This is funny.
Very appropriate Reddits
Yeah.
in the newsroom.
Looking up how to French kiss on YouTube. Anyway, let's move on from that.
Man, yeah,
very niche,
yeah. There's a lot of our cringe without even
going to the actual subreddit.
What
true.
individual?
God, that's what a good subreddit.
No.
I like it. I think it's
Again,
funny. But anyway,
I don't know. To me,
all
it's
right.
like too many nerds trying to put themselves over.
yeah, no, you're right. I
Or
don't
to
know.
show that, oh, man, look how much smarter and more clever I am than the showrunners. Except, no,
Yeah,
I'm just a nerd.
and it sucks on any kind of like comedy type thing if they do a Q&A and it's like, hey, check out my jokes that I've
Yup.
like. I'm not here to ask a question at all. I'm just gonna I'm gonna either workshop material with you,
I feel
or
like
I'm gonna
I turned
try and be
over a
best
leaf where
friends
I'm
with
just
you.
like,
Like,
that's just funny to me. I don't know. Where I'm just like, it doesn't bother me.
No,
it's just
you're
like,
broken.
Sort of.
Fine,
I
that's
get
maybe
fine.
I'm just broken.
secondhand.
You're a bad
I get
person.
secondhand like
I get none
embarrassment
of
for the
that.
person.
Yeah, I get full secondhand embarrassment. I'm just sitting there, just like, if I'm in the audience, I'm just like,
all I do is just be like, man, good thing I didn't go up there and ask a question because I would look stupid.
yeah.
What an idiot!
What an idiot! God. Which is bad, probably, but whatever.
Yeah, just go to the Giant Bomb panel and ask, how do I get into the video game industry
Yeah, very classic.
for the 20th,
question.
30th time?
Speaking of
All
video
right,
games,
guys. Video games. How have you? What have you? How did? What?
Why have you?
What? Ricardo,
Yes,
we have to talk about Cool Ice.
we have to talk
It's
about
a big
cool
topic.
ice.
It's a big
There's
topic. in the-
nothing cool
big
about
topic.
ice,
cool ice in
No.
this drink.
but
but
there.
we have to talk about the abolishment of Cool Ice.
Yes, get him the fuck out of here. Beat the shit out of Cool Ice because he's a son of a bitch.
We were
Ethan
talking about a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. or what's it?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes of
Eyes
Heaven.
of Heaven.
Eyes
is the full
of
title.
Heaven.
Why is it called Eyes of Heaven?
Because I
So it
believe
sounds epic.
the main antagonist in this game has something references heaven in some way.
I'm
all
gonna
the
look at that.
names,
something
all the
heaven.
names of the arcs of JoJo don't make any sense, or they
Okay.
very cursorily tie into the arc going on. We've got Phantom Blood.
Okay.
We've got Battle Tendency.
Okay.
We've got Stardust Crusaders. Diamond is Unbreakable. We have Aria
It's true.
Viento, Stone Ocean, and Steel Ball Run are the different arcs.
Ball Run?
Steel
No,
Ball
Steel Ball Run. Get it like
Kinda
Cannon
Cannonball Run, but it's
like
Steel Ball
Steel
Run.
Ball Run.
Oh, I thought it was like Paul Rudd.
Steel
what I
Paul
heard.
Rudd. I mean, if you see him in those Ant-Man movies, you'd think he was made out of steel.
Hey.
No. You gotta steal Paul Rudd. If you see
Oh yeah, I mean I would
insecure,
certainly.
then you've got to go ahead and
Steal yourself a
that.
Paul Rudd.
Get yourself a Paul Rudd. while you
Steal
get the
yourself for Paul Rudd.
Oh, he's coming.
You could steal
Yeah,
Paul
watch out.
Rudd
Yeah.
chance.
so that he'll forever be yours. You or you've got steal Paul Rudd because he's got them shredded up abs in Ant-Man.
There's a lot of different Paul Rudds going on here. I
know.
like it.
Save yourself for Paul Rudd.
Yes. So Ethan alerted me a couple weeks back that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven was on sale on the PlayStation.
Because I remember you specifically talking about how it's still $60.
Still $60
and
game.
then I saw this deal posted for $15. And I was like, that seems much more reasonable.
That
and
is a fair
enough
price.
to push someone over the edge.
Yep. So I bought it and streamed a couple hours of it. About the first chapter and a half, I would venture to guess, of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven. I guess I'll just call it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or Eyes of Heaven. Whatever. Either way. So this is essentially an anime like arena brawler.
JoJo's Bizarre Arena Fighter.
That is wrapped up in what a lot of these anime games tend to do, and that is to spend a lot of time in exposition with characters talking to each other and talking to each other.
That was what I watched. I watched the second part of your stream,
and this was a lot of
yeah.
I'm gonna describe the second. You just got the first part, and I'll describe the second part. Try and figure out what happened.
Yes, and this is the Eyes of Heaven.
I'm not saying it.
No more cross branding. You never advertise this podcast on that podcast. So
but
I'm tired of it.
Luckily, for one thing, I really, really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, like, every little part of this, even the parts of characters that I wasn't sure who they were, was very much into. And it still exudes all that sort of JoJo style. So, characters look very cool rendered in 3D. Like, the 3D models of the characters look very, like... The art style translates very well.
It does. It looks very good.
3D.
Even though you said this was a game that came out on PS3.
It was a previous generation game that got re-released with like.
It looks very good though. At least on your stream. I mean, obviously it was just small and I was watching on my phone, but like I was looking at the art style and it's like, I mean, maybe it's just the way that kind of structure, way they're drawn, where it's very hard edges.
Cel-shaded kind of look.
Yeah, and there's always like a lot of like 2D prompts popping up on the screen. A lot of like anime effects and lines being drawn over the HUD and stuff like that. All the menus look very cool. And it's just it's a fun game when they let you play it. Is the problem is that there is a lot of
Is it like is the talking worth it for a fan of the show? Like are you
I think
you
so.
like, oh, this is great, like this.
It's just fun to see the characters.
Is this based off an existing series of the show? Or
this is pulling in all the different arcs to this, like, for this unique story. And the story is very basic itself. It is basically are these parts of a quote-unquote great man who lived a long time ago. And these different
Karl Marx.
These different body parts of this person that they refer to as the Holy Corpse allow the different characters from different timelines to basically cross over. And there's a single bad guy they're referring to currently as the Noble One trying to collect these parts to do something bad. Okay. And it's up to the heroes in the different timelines to get to the different parts before he gets to all of them.
Okay.
So right now we've crossed over from the Stardust Crusaders timeline to the Ariavento timeline, and that's where I stopped. Something interesting in this game is that I've been watching the subtitled Japanese version on Crunchyroll, which is very good. And there is some slight like changes that they do need to make, because the thing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that all the characters and the various stands, for the most part,
now we're getting down to it,
are named after famous
Quick
Yes.
question: is it stand?
Yes, stand.
Okay, I thought it was stands.
No,
and then
no,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no.
And then I was like, is that where the internet
No,
meme
no,
comes
no, no.
from?
The internet meme actually comes from the song "Stan" from Eminem about an obsessive fan who writes in to Eminem.
There you
Look it up
go. Now I know things.
Look it up on the YouTubes. That song is a very good song. Anyway, so the different stands and the different characters are all named after various rock artists, albums, or references to songs, or or songs. So, like for example, JoJo, who is the protagonist in every arc, is a different JoJo, is from Get Back by the Beatles. The reference to JoJo in that song. The main antagonist named Dio, obviously from Ronnie James Dio.
R.I.P.
And it continues on and on. There's a Robert E.O. Speedwagon, which is pretty
that
obvious.
One's great. That one's great.
REO Speedwagon.
Do you get it?
But
You get it?
it seems like in this game, so like one of the more notable like changes that I've seen in the anime when I watched it was that there's a pair of villains.
Say it again?
Anime.
Okay, continue.
Anime.
So I'll make sure.
There's a couple of bad guys that are called one is named Oingo, one is named Boingo.
Okay.
And they're the Oingo Boingo brothers. In the subtitle translation, there's Zenyatta and Mondata, which is a reference to a police song, but I guess is not as explicit of a like reference to like avoid to avoid copyright. In this game, they try to avoid copyright by just taking it completely out of the question by renaming things pretty ridiculously.
But the weirdest thing is they've only done that for the English translation. The English
subtitle, yeah, the English subtitles.
You can hear them saying in Japanese because they're all foreign words. They're saying that they're saying the word pretty understandably.
So, for example, Bucciarati, one of the characters in here, has a stand who is named Sticky Fingers after the Rolling Stones album. And his power is like he opens up zippers in time.
And you can hear the character in the game.
And you can hear him go, Sticky Fingers. But
like that.
The localization team was like, fuck that.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. What's he do? He opens up zippers. Let's call him Zipper Man. So he's just referred to as Zipper Man in all the subtitles. He is. It's like, you better beware from my stand, the Zipper Man. And I'm just like,
the thing is that you can hear him still say, because he's talking in
Sticky
Japanese.
Fingers.
You can still hear him say that.
He's a Zipper Man with sticky fingers.
I guess.
And they translate that to
so
where we get Abolish Cool Ice from?
We got Abolish Cool Ice.
Can you guess where we get Abolish Cool Ice?
There was a reveal of a character coming back, a pretty major protagonist from Stardust Crusaders named Vanilla Ice. He's even got
what could that be referenced
to? Yeah, I don't know who that's reference to.
That must be something.
He's got a nice sash that has VI on it, which is still in the game. And then he comes out and he speaks, and his name is Cool Ice. They called him Cool Ice. For some reason, they decided that, Vanilla Ice is... No, we can't go with that because... obviously, we're what's another name that will kind of give him that same sort of like, sort of like
cool,
slimy, cool factor.
Yeah, that cool factor. Well,
wait a minute. Cool?
Wait a minute.
Ice? Cool
Ice? Is
cool.
Ice is not cool though.
Ice is very cold. One might say it's frozen.
Yeah, that's true. So is he melting?
I don't know.
No, he's not. He's not actually made out of ice.
He's not actually made out of ice. He's just a
He's not made
man.
out of vanilla either.
You're right.
But that's not.
Anyway.
Either way.
You're not made out of Ethan.
So there's some sort of...
Tell you I am made out of Ethan. You put that back.
You put that back. You put it back where you found it.
I put that back in my mouth and I undo what I said.
Thank that thing back where you came from, or so help me.
So help me.
so just some things in the localization have taken me out of it a little bit. Also, just little things like
There's a really great clip of that reaction on the internet. So I think that's retweeted by the Pixel Legends account, or
maybe I don't know.
Yours.
So like and there's also just little things like in it Jotaro, his little and this is me just getting into like really into the weeds. His like catchphrase is yada yada does, which in the like in the Crunchyroll subtitle I'm watching is always translated as good grief. It's like fucking he's Charlie Brown up in here.
Okay.
But in the game, it's translated as "Give me a break," and that just bugs the fuck out of me for some reason.
Next line is "Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar."
Exactly, but we can't say Kit Kat bar. We have to call segment chocolate,
and that's segment
chocolate wafers.
Segment biscuit chocolate. That's like very much like a thing of like that's a different translation team, because you could translate Yaya Dase as.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and it's very negligible. It's just a weird thing.
It's not the way the other team chose to.
That gets to me. But either way, it's a fun game. I had really a lot of fun streaming it. Some guy popped in at some point. I guess I'll give a shout out to the English Waffle on Twitch, who was really into the game and to JoJo, and was like kind of talk to me about some JoJo theory in there, and just. People seem to have a decent time just watching the nonsense happen. It's a little exposition heavy. I think at some point I started just kind of reading the exposition and just kind of talking over it.
It's a subtitle, you can read it, so it's a nice thing about it.
So, yeah, it's fun. I'll probably be streaming that. I streamed it Wednesday this week. I don't know what our schedule looks like next week. I'll probably be streaming it on Tuesday, though, very likely. So, yeah, that's been a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Although I definitely was a little confused coming halfway in and having a lot of dialogue. And then the fighting started, and I was like, now they're punching each other, but I don't know what.
Lots of flashy super moves and stuff.
There's Ricardo's a really great helper character, or a really great second, second player.
The partner
the freeze time and then do nothing with that.
The partner AI is not great for the partner helping you, and the problem is that. A lot of times they are not good at pulling aggro off of you, and you are getting your ass kicked, and they still have like 2 full bars of health, and it's just like, you want to jump in here? You want to help out? No.
Nah.
It's just like playing Overwatch.
Oh, Overwatch, you say?
You say, Matt?
Get on the payload.
I've heard of that game. It came
I was like, I'll play Mercy because that's easy. That's an easy hero, and I was always pretty good at Mercy. And then I'm like, oh man, still same problem. No one protects the Mercy.
Yet everyone expects you to heal them at all times.
Yeah. I'm very bad at that now. It's been like a year since I played that game. And because I stopped playing like last summer, not for any particular reason, just I think other games came out.
I was going to say, Overwatch at this point is 2 years old.
Is it only 2? I feel like it's older than that, right? 2015?
Is it
2015 or 2016? Maybe it was 2016.
I think it was 2016. I was in the Diamond Bar house, so that was probably 2016. Yeah.
It's still really good. It's not, but I'm really bad at it now. So I like my enjoyment is definitely lessened because of that. I did have some fun with some of the new characters. The problem I really have is I'm just not confident enough to play new characters or characters that I'm not as familiar with, and so I end up going back to like the same like 2 or 3 characters because that is just like what I know, but then I don't ever like get a chance to improve in any of the other characters because I am not ever trying anything new. So it's kind of like this weird thing of like, well, if I choose, even in quick play, I feel like I want to try to do my best. So it's like if I choose this character I'm not very good with, then I am gonna let the team down and do bad. And if I choose this, and also no one else is gonna go healer because this is the way it goes. So I guess since no one picked healer, I'll pick a healer, and now I'm playing the same character that I always play as, or like I have a couple. I'm pretty good at support, so I have a couple of the supports that I go back and forth with. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit like hard to jump back into, especially at this point where I feel like the amount of people playing that game have been playing it for a while.
Yeah, it's not a lot of like
which is also makes it even weirder that I feel like those same things that were happening early in the game where people were not playing healer or people were not playing a second tank or whatever when they should be playing it fall into the same, like it's kind of weird how people still play that way.
Yeah, I mean, at least the skill level that I'm being matched.
Yeah, no,
up with
and I had a similar thing too, Matt, when I was playing, like a couple months back. I was playing, quick play, and I'd want to play the new characters, and like for example, like Brigitte, a lot of times she could fit into some decent team comps and like have me, like still play her and like be doing like contributing to the team. But people are still kind of serious, like even in quick play, which is kind of weird. And
yeah, they've added a new. I'm not sure if this is in when you have been playing. They added a like a commend system now, so you can.
It's a very cool system, honestly.
Yeah,
I know that was not yet in when I jumped in.
Wait, Ethan, have you played it?
I pop in Overwatch once in a while and play.
Oh,
but not much.
It's pretty nice. You can vote for people on either your team or the enemy team for like 3 different categories. The categories seem a little
like really broad.
They're kind of redundant because like I feel like any of them could apply or none of them could apply because it's like what is it? One's like shot caller, one's good teammate, and one's like
good attitude or something like that.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're playing in quick play, like most of the time no one's talking. Yeah. So like one's
Never
like, hey, one's like they communicated well, and it's like, well,
no.
Do I give them good teammate? But the description for good teammate is like good at communication, and it's like, but they didn't really talk, but they were good at playing, and they helped me like not die.
Didn't abandon the team.
Exactly. So they should get a commend. It's like good sportsmanship. Well, it's like. I mean, again, no one's really talking, so like, there's no bad sportsmanship. So there's no, you know what I mean. So it's kind of hard to like. So I just been giving out random. I just been giving like, all right, you get one of those. You were this. Okay, yeah, you did that. All right, good. Just give you something. And I don't really know exactly how this works, but I'm guessing that you're gonna get the more of those votes you get, the more you are gonna be matched people who are also good. The thing is that there's no negative I guess it's the report system which already existed, so I'm guessing that's the idea. If you have reports on your account, then you'll that'll hurt your commend score. You have to keep getting commends to keep that score up. I don't know how often. It just says you have to, like, as long as you keep getting them, you'll keep getting that score. So I don't really know what that all means or what that does, because I'm level 1, which is what you start at.
Yeah.
Gotten quite a few commends just for, again, not being a jerk. And I'm still level 1, and there's no indication of when that changes to level 2, because I've seen people up to level 4 is the highest I've ever seen somebody having on that. And I don't know what that means, because, like, if they're level 4, why are they with me if I'm on level 1? I don't know what this is actually doing. Is it actually doing anything,
it
or just like
cool?
Or is it just a number next to your profile that goes like, this person's good, you should be, they're nice, they'll be nice to you, or something like that? Like that. I don't know what it actually means. There's no negative version either, so it's not like you can go below level 1. So there's really no indication of what it's actually doing. I'm sure it's doing something. Yeah, the game's fun. It's good. I've played the new character, just came out, Wrecking Ball. That was out on like Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
It was in the PTR for a while before that, but yeah, it's a hamster with a big robot. Robot. He's probably one of the most complex.
I was gonna say
tanks.
His movement is so odd. Like,
yeah,
it seems like it's almost overly complex for the game that Overwatch is. It is
one step away from being that overly complex. There are definitely more complex heroes, I think. But like, I would say Doomfist is a pretty like finesse based hero that you have to do. Like, so Hammond's thing is he can roll into a ball and roll around like that. And that's just, you can just go pop in and out of that whenever. There's no like ability. If he's in the ball form and you jump off of a ledge, you can hit Control to slam down on the ground and cause damage in an area of effect. If you're in the ball form or not, you can hit the right mouse button to launch like a grappling hook on a point, and then you'll like turn into the ball form and swing around like on that axis. You will swing around, and if you like hit people, it'll do damage and do knockback as well. So that's also just like, yeah, there's a whole thing of that.
That's hard to master.
Yeah, it's really hard to master. And then like the last thing of all is you can he has a shield. Yeah, you can like hit a button to trigger like an extra amount of shields that like come up on him, and it's based on how many enemies are nearby him at the time. That's how much extra shields he'll get. So again, it's like this whole thing of like, if you think about it on paper, there's a great thing that you could do, which is just like grapple yourself off of something, swing up in the air, slam into one person, and then ground pound down in the middle of a group, and like turn on your shield immediately, and like get an extra bunch of like HP, and like start like shooting people, and then like roll out of there as soon as there's any problems or whatever. But in practice, it's just like really hard. Like that's just like, again, like a pro Overwatch League player, I'm sure I'd really interested to see one of them like play this character well. But it's like, it's definitely one of the more complex tanks for sure. He's got a lot of hit points, but like it tends to be that if you roll into the middle of a group of people, they're just gonna all start shooting at you, and you end up being dead in like a second or so. So there's definitely some interest in there. So yeah, that's cool. Brigitte's cool. I'm not very good with her either, but she's kind of not really a support. Like she is, because that's the closest thing that it really fits to for her. But she's like kind of this middle in between like mini tank and mini support.
Yeah, I mean, she can give out shields, and then she's got her own shield, which isn't great. It's not
really
like
it's not.
I was gonna say, it's not like Reinhardt levels of being able to like protect a team, but like her big boon is the shield bash.
Yeah,
that stuns anything. Like it can stun Reinhardt out of using a shield. It can stun like a Reaper that's dropped down. Like it can interrupt so much. It can stun a Genji in the middle of his dragon sword. Like, so it's like really that is her big move.
Yeah.
So, and she deals a decent amount of damage for what she is. So like she's kind of really thrust herself into the meta of like the Overwatch League and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, those finals,
they're this week.
It's
they're
Philadelphia
tomorrow, which today by the time you listen to it, it's Philadelphia versus the Spitfire. So
the
Spitfire,
Fusion with a big upset.
Huge upset,
New York
sweeping
Excel.
New York. Actually, both of them were huge upsets. To be fair, like London swept the Valiant.
Yeah, I mean, London, it's the thing is that London was, like, the best team,
were,
like, through stage 1, so, like...
And they've fallen a lot since then. I mean, they're the 5th seeded team, I think, in the playoffs. So it's pretty cool to see in general that we've got the two bottom-ranked teams going on in the finals. But they dominated in ways that were, like, very apparent through most of their games before this. Like, yeah, the Excel did not look like the juggernaut that they've been for most of this entire Overwatch League.
Yeah,
with only like 5 losses in the entire league or something like that.
And the thing is that, like, I think a lot of people, and not to get too inside baseball here, I feel like the thing is that people were looking at a lot of their more recent losses as like, well, they already knew that they had qualified, so they're not even trying very hard. But it's like, you wonder if them maybe not playing up to their level, like, kind of dulled their performance in the finals, in the playoffs here, or what. But yeah, interesting stuff. I still kind of lost. I kind of really fell off once Gladiators were out, but
sorry, man.
But
sorry.
What are you gonna do? There's
RIP.
always next season.
Aces high, rooting for London. Go British people.
Because
All Koreans. A team of Koreans. All right, Ethan, you've played like 25 games, so how about you just go ahead and give us like
Matt, we both played the same
lowdown.
game. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that one. That's the one. That's the special one that I wanted to talk about. No Man's Sky next is out now. The like full.
It's like the second expansion they released.
I mean, they've been updating that. They've been regularly updating that game for ages. But like, yeah, it is like they had like a big story pack that they did like 4 months after release, something like that. Like now, like
this is like the 2.0, or what a lot of people are saying
1.0
should have been the 1.0.
Yeah,
but they're saying it's 2.0 basically because like they've added tons to the game. You got multiplayer now. You got like different modes where you can like have survival elements or not. You've got third-person camera. You've got screenshot mode. You've got
it's a lot of stuff. And that's
you
one
got
of the things...
like infinite base building, which you had like some base building before, but not like there's a limit to it. And like now it just seems like they have
now you log in and
fully
you
added
almost
all
die
the things
instantly because it's like I don't remember what to do. Oh shoot, you need sodium or whatever to survive because that was a storm happening.
Did you log into your old save?
No.
Okay, no, I started a new save.
I started a new save and I almost died almost instantly.
So yeah, man, I was real ticked off about the save.
That was the thing, is that I saw a lot of people before they jumped in like asking a lot of questions on Twitter about like, what is the interaction with my old save? Am I just starting from scratch? Like, what is going on? So what is going on?
You can totally load that old save. It will not be at all the same because all the items that you had are like they've changed like so much about how the game actually works, like what elements do what items even are present. So like if you do load into that old game, and they've regenerated the whole galaxy again. So like the planet that you're on might not be the same anymore, that kind of thing. So they've refreshed a bunch of stuff. If you do load into your old save, you can like sell a bunch of your old equipment for extra money. And you can like
I don't know.
if you had any bases. Nah, I didn't even bother.
Yeah,
I was like, all I heard was people saying, I'm just starting over, and I wanted to know what you had to do was. So I was like,
I wanted to know the tutorial. The new tutorial, which honestly is not that great. It's fine. Like it gets you to all the places you need to go and tells you stuff to do.
It's very long. It takes you hours to get a hyperdrive, which is like how you go from system to system. Like
like I've only gotten the planet to planet drive.
I remember that took a while.
I got the quest to do the hyperdrive today, and then I was like, oh wait, I pre-ordered. I forgot I could just download the one that already has a hyperdrive already in it. So I just did that. I got all the way to the quest, but I did the tutorial all the way up until there because I wanted to know what was different and what I actually had to do. If I loaded my old save, I would not have been able to easily.
Yeah, and also I just forgot how to play. Like I was like, oh,
yeah,
I forgot this was like a game where you can actually terraform things.
Yeah, I'm really glad they left in the glitch that allows you to fly really fast. If you sprint melee and jump at the same time, you'll still go. Like it does not. Before you could do that almost infinitely, like continually do that. It's not quite that level anymore. You have to. You just have to time it, but it still lets you go really fast, faster than you could walk or run.
I feel so playing this game now. I feel it's definitely a lot more like the survival game. Like they've definitely leaned into the survival stuff mechanics a little bit more, where it's like you build a base, you hide in here when the storm comes out. You have to build.
All the storms were in the game before. I'm pretty sure
they were, but like I felt like now you have to hide in them. They're a lot more often, I think. Generally speaking, I think. And then you have to build like little refineries to refine like minerals.
Definitely have like collect these elements and then like feed them into this machine, which makes them a better version of the same element, and then like feed that version in again to make it even better, and then like each time you're getting less and less of the element when you do that,
which definitely makes the game more interesting and deep. But it's just I feel like what they did is they didn't add like any like super crazy new mechanics. They just added more. Yeah, which I mean, I will
say this about No Man's Sky next is that if you hated No Man's Sky, which I didn't, but if you did hate No Man's Sky, it is not going to change your mind about it. I don't think you might think it's a more complete game, but I don't think you'll like it. anymore. But if you thought there was potential in the first game, or even I genuinely liked the time I spent with it. I agreed that I think it was a little shallow at the beginning, but I genuinely enjoyed just seeing pretty things and viewing, trying to explore the universe kind of thing. But yeah, if you didn't like the last one because of the way it played or the things that were in it, this is like Ethan said, it is more of that. So like, it's not really gonna change your mind. The space station's got lots of aliens in it now, instead of just like the one
alien you want.
Guy who's like, hey,
you can be any alien if you want to be one of them. You can customize your character with different outfits. You got bases.
You got freighters I haven't unlocked yet, but
I haven't unlocked those either. But let me tell you, my experience of the game was taking 5 minutes for it to connect to the servers.
It is, yeah. The load at the beginning was like the longest thing ever. I know you quit out because you thought it was broken, but
I literally thought I was like, oh, this must be just.
I almost thought it did too,
like,
and I just let it go. And I eventually loaded in, but it was just like, geez, man.
And then I was like, well, this is outputting in windowed 1080 on my 4K monitor. I want to actually have it on full screen, and then so I tried to change the settings, and it's like all low graphics for some reason too. And I was like, okay, let me adjust these. It's like this game needs to restart in order for these things to take effect.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. And so then I had to reboot and do that again, and then I tried to change some graphic settings because things were moving too slowly. So I was like, okay, adjust some graphics downwards, and then it was like the game just crashed, and then I had to keep doing that like 4 or 5 times. It spawned me on a planet that had super heat at all times, and then like firestorms consistently.
Those were always the worst.
Filled with
ones.
fungus mushrooms that were like spewing out poisonous gas in any tunnel, which is where you go when there's a firestorm. You go in a tunnel to get out of. So I was like fully like this sucks. And then like the very next story mission took me to a freezing cold planet, which is the exact opposite, but just freezing cold, like just the exact same thing, but just like freezing cold.
Did you have issues with anytime you tried to mine, the sentinels would like come after you almost
instantly? The sentinels are way more than it felt like than there were.
Yeah, they're like way more aggressive. Like you mine something in that. I think I found a sentient plant.
No.
And
I grabbed this,
like,
I found one of those.
This little bulb thing, and then the sentinel's like, "What the fuck?" And then just like immediately starts trying to kill you.
I looked at the guide afterwards, and it's like certain items will immediately trigger sentinels, even if they're not looking at you.
One of them.
So that's one of them. Yeah. I haven't had problems just mining or doing normal stuff, but I found a sentient plant just like you did, and I grabbed the little bulb thing from it, and it was like immediately level 3 like alert, and I was like,
3 people coming.
What's this robot dog charging me? Oh, it's shooting a laser out of its mouth.
Yeah, and I tried to escape, but I didn't have any fuel, so I was just like, and I just died.
I managed to run away using my using my melee jumps.
Oh, the melee jumps.
Sprinted away.
I forgot how to do the melee jumps. I knew there was some way to do it, but I forgot.
You have to like melee, and like immediately after pressing the melee button, which is
like Sea of
right,
Thieves in the water,
button, then like hit the B button or A button to jump. After I had that really bad first experience of just like all this frustration with getting the game to load, all these planets that are just like complete garbage. The second time I played today, actually, which is today, and last night actually a little bit too. I went to this beautiful tropical planet, which was temperate environment, so it was not constantly draining my whatever it called, environmental protections or whatever. Mm-hmm. I found a space station, which was really cool, and had a bunch of aliens on it, and started trading with them. I did get stuck on the space station because it used to not count against your fuel to take off from a space station, but now it does. And I don't know why they did that, because then I was literally stuck. I had no way of getting off. So it was like
a no-win
scenario? I had to wait because spaceships fly into the space station, right? And you can like trade with them. So I had to keep checking every single one of those to see if they had dihydrogen. Dihydrogen, I think is what I needed. To freaking build
a spaceship stalls won't just sell that, but that's kind of weird.
Well, they do, but the problem was it was still a tutorial, so I couldn't talk to anybody. They were like, you need to go do this thing first before you can talk to anybody here. And I was like, I'm stuck. I'm literally stuck. And then I managed to find a way to get off.
The tutorial's just not great. Like it gets the job done, but it's long. There's plenty of ways to fail during it. Like it's a little rough.
It's the problem I have with a lot of survival games, and I guess it's not really a problem. The survival game players might not think this is a problem because this is not the kind of game it is, but there's a way to get yourself into a place where you're dead, but you're not dead yet. If you know what I mean, like you are not going to be able to do it, going to die, and I don't like, you know what I mean, like I don't like that kind of game. I don't want to be able to be like, oh, I know I'm screwed and I can't do anything about it right now.
Like this save is done or this.
Yeah.
I like it in this kind of game because it makes you feel very insignificant. Just kind of like whole universe that's just kind of uncaring, and you're just like a little person trying to get by. I kind of like that stuff. Like I
guess I like it because like I put those things on because I was like, I don't want it to be just like no stakes at all. But I definitely don't enjoy. I like the exploration. I like the flying around. I like seeing the cool planets.
Did you play it on casual or survival mode?
I put it on like the normal mode, which includes survival. Some of the survival elements. There is a permadeath mode now.
Yeah.
Well, which I'm sure would be kind of fun in its own way. But I just want to like fly around and take pretty pictures. I took a lot of pretty pictures, guys.
I saw those.
I got a lot of pretty. I got more.
This game looks really good. Like I forgot how good it looked.
Really good.
Like just all the procedural generation stuff coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool update. I really like it. I'm curious what it's like to play kind of with other people because I know you get sent to your own kind of mission. Seems like.
I don't know anything about that multiplayer part. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
But I know you can supposedly find people, but I don't even know how often you'll find them because it's such a big area. But
yeah, I think there's a way to like join on a person. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, but what about? I felt like you could also just find people too randomly.
Yes, that theoretically can happen. I think as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a neat update. I think it's definitely worth checking out. But like you said, if you didn't care for No Man's Sky when it first launched, like a lot, then you probably should stay away because it doesn't do a whole lot more, but it is more. So if you're looking for just more meatier content,
it does more than No Man's Sky. If you thought No Man's Sky was cool but didn't have enough in it, this is
enough
exactly
carrots on a stick.
I think what you want.
I'm looking forward to that freighter stuff. That sounds really cool.
I found this dumb, goofy alien. It's like this. It's this animal that because everything's procedurally generated. There's just some stuff that's like still good old janky, and it's just like this like lizard turtle thing, but it walks on its hind legs. It kind of like goes like.
I love
like
it.
This, like that when it walks.
I love the janky.
And it has like this big like lizard face. It's like. It's like
nice.
I like that.
Oh, part.
Did you no one listening to the audio will be able to know what I'm doing. But
did you name that guy? Did you name that guy?
Actually, you know what? I haven't named that one yet. That's the planet I'm currently on in the game, so I've not named that one.
You also can now customize your player character now.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, you could be an alien if you want to be one of the other alien races.
Yeah, you can be races.
I stayed being they call it the what do they call you?
Drifter or something like that.
No, you're like the anomaly or something
like
that.
Yeah,
the anomaly, which is basically human. You look like a human. But you
can kind of like robot head stuff. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you could put. Yeah, you could put. There's one of the things that you could do is just like this weird, like it's just electricity for a head. It's like this ball of electricity that's like spinning around is the only thing that's
cool.
the head.
You are energy.
It is cool looking. I just say it's a human looking thing, but I did customize. I got a really cool armor set and not armor set, but like a cool like suit that looks neat.
Cool.
And it's pretty heavy customization too.
I have that game. I should probably
boot it up again.
download it.
It's a good way to check it out again. It's a good time.
I wonder, is there crossplay for that?
Probably not.
PC.
Maybe, but probably not.
All right. Yeah, so I've been playing that and I've been digging it quite a lot, so I'm probably gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, it's a good chill out game still.
Yeah, it's a really good chill out game.
All right, time to hop into my gauntlet of games that I played over the last weekend.
Gauntlet of games. We're like an hour. We're like 45 minutes in, and we have not even finished the game.
I'll go through most of these pretty quickly, because a lot of them are either short or very easy to explain. So, Manuel Samuel is a game that we saw once for Trailer Trash ages ago. Played through that. I didn't beat the last boss. I had someone else beat it because the first half of that game is it's got the game itself.
I would say less than the first half.
Yeah, probably less first half. But the first part of the game has humor in it, but it's not very good. I think actually most of the game has humor in it. It's not very good. It kind of misses more than it hits.
It misses more than it hits, but I feel like it doesn't necessarily like really try to hammer in a lot of the jokes. It's
No.
more like, hey,
They try,
he
it's
said
not
something
good.
goofy. We're just moving on.
Yeah, which is good. But I think most of the humor comes from trying to keep this character alive. So anyone who doesn't know, it's you basically play as a character who is a bad person, but he dies and he barters with death to then.
He's like, hey man, who
Yeah.
is you?
He's a weird skater dude. I don't know why. To come back to life, but you have to do everything manually. You have to concentrate on normal things like breathing and blinking and all those things that are kind of like, things your body doesn't
Sounds
have to
like
concentrate
fun.
on. Yeah, so the goofiness is like walking around, all of a sudden you forget to sit up straight. So you're trying to do a very difficult task, all of a sudden you just bends over randomly. Or you're trying to do something else and it starts getting blurry because you forgot to blink. Or your character starts to turn blue because you forgot to breathe. It's because there's other things you have to do. Like the walking scheme is hitting left and right, left and right, left and right shoulder buttons, alternatively. So like everything is just a little extra work, and it's fun to watch. And it got a lot of good laughs in the first half of the game, maybe a little less than the first half, as Ricardo was saying. And then it started adding in new things where it's like, hey, now you're controlling a mech, and you have to do this stuff, and it's just like, it's just
And
doesn't.
those sequences go on for too
They
long.
go on too long, and they're just
and
not
they're
as
just-
fun.
They're not fun.
No,
They're not fun to watch, and they don't look like they're fun to
they're
control or
not.
play.
They're not. And they just go on a little too long. I feel like, and the game's not even long. Oh, it's maybe like 3 hours long. 3 or 4
No,
hours long?
it takes like 3 hours, and probably a lot less if you actually
If you actually knew what to do with everything,
doing,
yeah. But those
You're
last,
saying if you speedrun this game,
yeah,
There is like
But
straight up a
mostly-
speed run, like
Sure.
mode.
yeah. But
a lot of indie games have a speedrun mode these days. I feel like it's
I feel weird about that game because it's not a bad game, but if you're interested in the concept, I definitely think you should check it out. But it's not a great game. It's not a great game. I don't know if I could recommend it unless it sounds interesting to you. I don't think you should go check it out. Another game we played was other trailer trash game called Chuchel. Which was made by the same people who made Samrost and Machinarium. Yeah, that one. But it's got a little
Kuko.
fuzzy man. He wants a
Kuko.
cherry, and there's other little
this
weird
game
thing.
looks great. I really want to play this
It's-
game for a while.
It's pretty good. I really like
It's
it.
funny.
It's weird because it
to
has.
watch.
It's definitely not as puzzle heavy as
No,
Samrost or anything. It's like click around, things happen. You will eventually figure out the puzzle, and if not, you can just do a hint.
Yeah.
It's like
I
whatever.
feel like I feel like this is definitely an offshoot of Botnicula.
More so.
More simplified than
Way
that.
more
But
simplified.
Botnicula felt like it had the perfect level of like, this is not that hard. There's not a million items
I
to
definitely
collect
did get
and
stuck
things.
though a couple times.
Yeah, but it had like those. It had the same hint system, the exact same hint. I've seen the hint system in Kukul, and it's same one.
But anyway, it's
Yeah,
it's
it
a lot
seems
of fun.
like
it's
this is
goofy.
like let's simplify that even more.
Mhm.
and make
It's
it just, like,
very
a
much
free-
Tom and Jerry esque, where one
Yeah.
character's trying to do a thing, and then in the end
Well,
they always kind of fail.
You gotta get that cherry, and little
that
armadillo
cherry.
man, mouse bug, always get the cherry before him.
Let's get the cherry for him, and then there's another
then
person, and
there-
an antagonist that they both have to sometimes work together to try to get the cherry
There's
back.
a hand that just always
It's this
taking the
little god
cherry
hand just
away.
goes, "Brr." And the sound's great. It's a fun little weird.
There's a
thing.
slug that loves arcade games.
Yeah,
Makes
I
you
mean,
play a bunch of arcade
like
games.
weird
That's just just
Tetris.
accurate. That's just accurate.
yeah.
Like
Slugs love
everyone
arcade
knows
games.
slugs
They
love
hate
arcade.
salt. Love arcade games.
There's that funny yellow monkey guy who kept like those guys. As long as they were singing, he was awake.
He was happy, but
Yeah,
then
he
as soon as they, you plugged them all up by turning into a spider
and turning your friend into a spider.
and putting him also on it as
Yeah.
well. It's a weird ass game. It's got kind of that Ren and Stimpy sort of like, let's look at some things in this are a little disturbing.
It's
Some
kind
of
of
the character
like
design's like a little over the top.
it's kind of like that art style from I don't know if you remember this from childhood, but the Stinky Cheese Man.
Yeah, I have that
Kind of
book.
like that art style,
Yeah.
sort of.
I had
Where
that
like
book as a
there's
kid.
some characters that are just kind of ugly,
Kinda
like their
gross.
features are distorted in a way that are kind of disturbing if you're like a young person.
A young lad.
Yeah, which I would say this game.
Which
Which I would say this game. Well, I would say this game otherwise is pretty kid friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great because there's no language in it at all, so you can they don't have to translate it. It's just click buttons and things happen. It's a fun little game. I highly recommend it for like $10 I think it was I paid for it. So it's a good game. Another game I played, I bought this a while ago. It's called, or no, I think I got it as a gift. Called Use Your Words. So, do you know Jackbox, Matt?
I've heard of this game. Wait, Ricardo, you talked about this game?
Yeah,
Did you?
I talked about it last week.
Last week on the missing guest. This.
Let's have Ethan talk about it.
Use Your Words. It's Jackbox, but one game, and the one game is
good.
3 games. I would say it is a.
Ricardo
good,
did not describe it to me in a way that
I
made
would
me
say it's an upper tier Jackbox game.
All right,
I would say because it's one of those, but it's an upper tier one. It's maybe like a little above Fibbage, I would say, but no Quiplash, although very similar. No Quiplash and no TKO, but it's very good.
Okay.
You can have it's 3 separate games. The thing that sucks about it is you can't pick like. I really enjoy the first game, which is
and it all progresses in the same way.
It progresses in the same way. There's no options, which they could have actually just split these all out. The first one is you dub a movie over with whatever words you say.
Subtitles.
So everyone uses their phone. They do the silent.
Yeah, you're not dubbing. You're not dubbing.
Dub it.
Unless
And then you listen to it and you go, "Ha, that's funny."
Ethan, you used to work in captions. You should know the difference between dubbed and subs.
Yeah, you're right. It's a sub, whatever. You do that.
Don't get salty.
I'm gonna get salty.
Don't get salty, man. That's next week.
Okay, next week's salty.
You gotta bring your big old salt back.
We're gonna bring the salt on the plane.
It's still in his kitchen.
Still in my kitchen, hanging out. Got nothing else to do with it. Anyway, and then the next game is shit. What was the next game?
That was the newspaper headline.
Yes, newspaper headline, which is a good one. You get a picture and you put a caption on it, like either a clickbait caption or like a regular newspaper headline. But the problem is, for some reason, we couldn't get to not cut off the edges, which was weird.
The display. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the display was just having, for some reason, issues showing the entirety of the screen's width.
Yeah,
so like a lot of times you would be writing you'd write just a knee slapper, but it'd get cut off because the way the screen was projecting for some reason.
The thing that I remember from the missing podcast from last week is that none of you were as funny as the built-in lines that came.
That was the thing. Is as Jackbox has those lie for me type things. It's like I can't think of anything, and they also in this game they guarantee throwing in a fake one. The problem is the fake ones are really funny.
Yeah,
Like,
they're very
really good.
tailored to the things, and they're pretty funny. Like
So the problem is if you pick it in this one, you actually lose points.
So then it's that, and I was talking about last week. It's that extra element of like, oh, I really like that one, but it sounds like it could be the house answer, so I don't want to pick that one.
Yeah.
And then it's like your friend's one, and they're like, "What the hell, man?" And
You're
it's
like,
like,
"It's too
sorry,
funny."
you're too funny.
You're too funny.
You're too
Oh
good.
no.
Unlike the Jackbox one where it's like, oh, it's obviously never gonna win.
Yeah.
And then the last game is, God, I can't remember it. Oh, it's something about is it a caption one?
It's like the facts that like spits out, and it's like fill in the one blank.
Facts?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
It's just fill in a blank sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's very simple, and then that's it.
Oh, I thought you meant FAX.
No.
That's what that.
And then you
I was
just
like,
and that's it. You do
I
that 3
was
times, I
like-
think, and then that's it. You pick the winner, and there you go. It's simple. It's fun. It's a good break from the Jackbox games, but I mean, it is definitely a Jackbox game, and there is more room for games like that because Jackbox.
Sure.
kinda
How
has
much
a
is
monopoly
it?
on it? I think it's like $10. $10, maybe a little bit less.
Okay.
Maybe
That's
8.
probably a fair.
maybe
That's
$7.
probably a fair price.
It's a fair price, and it's a good
You're
time.
not gonna have a full suite of games. you know?
No, but you know what? To be fair, there's only maybe 3 Jackbox games that are ever really good. Maybe 2.
Over the 4 boxes they've had, I feel like there's
3.
like 6 that are probably solid.
Yeah, overall those 4 boxes, but in each box you buy, that's what, $24. There's maybe only what 3 games that are good in each box, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't. It's not a bad value then.
I will always have a soft spot for earwax.
Earwax.
Oh
is
man,
alright. I forgot
that
about that
one's
one.
fine. Yeah, that
That's
one's
that's one
fine.
that's one of the edge of the good ones for
It's
me.
it's almost good.
I'm on the edge of good ones.
It's good. It's not great, but it's good.
It's no TKO, which
It's no TKO.
Well, TKO is like top tier.
TKO's top tier. I feel like Quiplash is top tier, and
Fibbage is pretty good.
Yeah,
Fibbage
it was
was
not as good as
Drawful is good,
Drawful's
but I feel
good.
like
Drawful's
TKO
great,
kind of came
but
in and
that
was
drawing,
like,
that new drawing one is really good on Jackbox 4.
what is the new
Where
drawing?
you draw together, it's like graffiti or something.
I haven't seen.
I haven't seen Jackbox 4,
You
so
never
I
played
actually-
4?
I've never.
No, I never played 4.
Oh,
We played at Evo.
Yeah, you play Evo.
Competitive Jackbox.
Competitive Jackbox.
But we need all connection to the internet.
We could just use your LTE.
LTE, yeah, that'll be fine.
And use all my data.
connection. Yeah, you use your data.
I don't think that game.
I don't think it takes much data.
All
right.
I don't know. I have unlimited data, so
Speaking
who
of
cares?
fighting games, Pocket Rumble is the game I picked up for Switch.
Yeah, we saw this trailer a couple weeks back.
And I was like, man, I'm gonna get that game. And I heard other people talk about it, and they said pretty positive things. But it is a very basic kind of like game based off of like, I don't know, Game Boy Advance type graphics, maybe a little bit earlier than that.
Neo Geo.
Neo Geo Plus.
Neo
Pocket.
Geo Pocket Color.
There you go. That's the one it's supposed to be off of.
Get it right.
I know. Excuse me.
Stop insulting our intelligence.
It runs
Call
much
yourself
quicker
a
than that.
gamer.
Runs much quicker, but it is basically a boiled down version of a fighting game. You got 2 buttons, and that's it. Your special moves, the only way to activate them is you just hold them in the left corner or the right corner down. So down forward or back forward or back down. And then you just hit a button and hold it and you do a special. It's that simple. So once you get your 9 different characters who all have very unique different abilities, then you just play. Like one character is really cool. He does a lot of damage, but he loses health, but you can gain health back by doing damage. So that's one thing. There's another character who has like a cat that turns into a creepy monster and will actually like attack you and do damage. So you have to manage the cat, but you can also kill the cat, and then that person.
Oh yeah, you can blow up the cat, but then you don't you can't use the cat
something
for the
like
rest
that.
of
Yeah. You got a creepy ghost character with like a long range
But
attack.
is there a grappler?
Yes, there is a zombie grappler. He comes in and he will grapple things and does lots of different grapple things. So you kind of got all the basic archetypes of like all the different fighting games, and it's really fun. It's really fast. It's so fast paced. There's like 5. You have to play 5 rounds in a set.
Okay.
And everyone takes like 1 damage each. Maybe we'll play it after this record. I'll show you a little bit about it. It's very simple. It's every hit you do is 1 damage, no matter what.
Okay.
So that brings a whole new thing, and then everyone has an ultimate or something like that. Like it's really simple, but it has enough depth to be like, okay, this actually takes some sort of fighting game elements from like Street Fighter, like, oh, if you block while standing up, you can block upper attacks and mid attacks, but you have to be crouching to block the down attacks. So it's a lot of
very fighting.
It's very fighting game, but it doesn't have all that stuff where you have to learn, all the combos and what combos into this and that. And it has
I hate combos.
I know.
I seriously.
It's a pain to do all that
fighting
stuff.
Games.
So I mean, but it has a very robust, like it has GDPO as the netcode, so it runs good. I played a couple games online, runs fine. Got my ass beat. The CPU is very hard in this for some reason.
I heard that.
Yeah, I don't know why. They're
it
really
jumps
hard.
up very quickly too.
There's a training mode where you can see hitboxes. It has a very good tutorial where it teaches you how to basically do all the little quick moves that takes like maybe 3 minutes to get down, and you learn everything about the game. Like it's a really cool little game that you can buy for like $10, have it on Switch, and then just like, hey, I'm bored. We're standing in line for something. Let's just have a little fight. And I think it'll be super fun to play at Evo with a couple people because you don't have to know that much about fighting games to probably have a pretty good time with it. So I'm really excited to take that and play with some other people.
That's neat.
Highly recommend it.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all the games I played. That's a lot. Give me 2 weeks away and I'll play all the games. I only played like 4, 5.
5 games. That's every game. That's all the games they've ever made.
That's every game. I got them all.
They got them all. Great. Check that box off. Ethan's done with video games. No more. Stop making more.
I'm done playing video games. Sit.
He's had too much. He's had enough.
Too many video games.
Well, I hope you haven't, because we still gotta go to the news.
Oh no, we gotta talk about it.
This first story, I almost feel like we can even get rid of.
We've cut this first story.
All
right, cut it.
First story.
Cut the first story.
But
we're running a long time.
The next story is actually somewhat prevalent because what platform are we currently using to talk to each other?
Twitch.
Discord. Oh wait.
No, that's what we're talking. That's what we're using to talk to the girl watching this right now.
To Mr. Spartan 6 out there.
I know that person.
No, I don't know who it is.
And they're not a girl.
Oh.
They're a man. Such a man. A real man's man. Anyway, so Discord is the thing a lot of people are using not only to talk to each other, but it's kind of become a weird forum alternative. Like Discord, I still don't fully understand.
A lot of people are like, we were talking to a friend about the Overwatch League, and they're like, "Don't watch the Twitch chat. Go to the Discord."
Yeah. And I think a couple of podcasts back, someone was suggesting we have a Discord channel for people to talk. Which I don't think we have a big enough audience for that, or maybe
we have a Discord. People can join. We'll just have to
the dozens of you out there.
Yeah.
So Discord, that's kind of become the popular thing. In fact, some communities are becoming partnered with Discord, but some are having their partnership revoked. Specifically, this Final Fantasy. Was this Final Fantasy 14?
Yep. You always gotta leave those Roman numerals and look at it for a little extra second longer. Be like,
XIV. What is that?
It's the 5 minus the 1. Okay.
They had their partnership revoked due to a not safe for work forum that was posting.
Oops.
Well, not safe for work content. I mean, some of the content
sounded
in here,
like lolicon too.
Yeah, some of it is lolly porn, which is bad. But also, it seemed like they were within community guidelines, except that according to this article, recently, Discord has updated those terms of service, specific to partnered forums.
Right.
Saying that as part of this partnership, you are now representing the company, and that kind of content you need to be a lot more careful when you're posting it. So there's kind of been a spark up of a debate because, they're saying that this content was posted in the Not Safe for Work forum. It wasn't posted elsewhere. Anything that was posted elsewhere was taken down. The users were reprimanded, and they were kind of policing themselves essentially. And then Discord kind of came in and revoked that partnership. But I think it's an interesting conversation as Discord grows as a platform. These kinds of things are going to pop up.
It seems like exactly the sort of thing that happens from when a once small platform has become like this giant thing, and they're like,
make money with some people.
And also just like our policies that made sense when we were, had thousands of users, and now we have millions of users, and these policies don't necessarily scale upward to that large of a crowd, like enforcement wise, or just ability to like maintain things wise. So because the more people you add, the more chances of somebody doing something terrible with your with your service.
That's the thing, is that if you let these kind of services just have free reign, you definitely have say what you will about these forums posting porn or whatever. I'm very indifferent about them. It's when you think about stuff like hate groups being able to post in your forum, and using that. Don't necessarily have to gain a partnership, but in the current terms of service, it seems like they can be in there.
Oh, really? I thought they were. I thought they banned a couple of those type of groups. I could be wrong, but I just felt like I glanced at some of that stuff and seen that they were banning them. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, I think the thing is like, when you're a partner, you kind of have to be held to a higher standard because you're technically like representing that particular company. So like, they should have probably been kind of banned for this sort of thing, because it was some not just not safe for work, it was some borderline illegal things.
Yes.
There was in this article it states there was revenge porn too, which is illegal. So like that sort of stuff, it's like you probably should be banned for that, but maybe you can do a repeal process. Like I think the one-time sort of thing of like, okay, we let our community get out of hand, because you can't be on all the time moderating everything all the time. Maybe you missed that or something. It's like, hey, I think they should be given one more chance to try again, get their server up, and maybe correct what they faulted. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like it's a permanent ban sort of thing.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. I mean, yeah, this is pretty new, so maybe at some point they'll do a repeal process. But I mean, who knows how much damage that could have done to that channel? I mean, it takes a long time to grow a community like that.
Spartan 6 here is saying that we should set up a Discord.
So maybe
Let's have a massive Discord server for teenagers. If he's offering his services. This is our friend John.
Oh, I know.
We know.
Why the fuck did you say
it was
you
a
didn't
joke?
know it was? Oh, it was such a fucking
It's
funny
a funny joke.
Take it easy, Rodney Dangerfield.
I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a. I thought it was an obvious joke.
No, we thank you for the kind offer. We'll be able to get one set up.
No, I'm a Luddite, as shown by my inability to record on a Chromebook last week.
Well,
I have no idea what
I
I'm
don't know if
doing.
that's your fault.
Help! Anyway,
Monster Hunter is esports. There are championships for Monster Hunter going on. What does it even mean, Ricardo?
okay,
Go.
so the USA Championships for Monster Hunter are going down next week with the winners of this going on to the finals in the Tokyo Game Show in 2018. So apparently the format of a Monster Hunter esports tournament is
what?
You get teams of 2. Here, this is the Polygon article. You get teams of 2, and they'll compete to take down monsters in the fastest time possible. So I'm guessing that there's a certain, perhaps
I'm guessing it's a certain monster, right?
a certain monster and probably a certain set that you have to use, possibly
Generally,
similar to an arena type
generally
quest.
in the arena, they give you one set. Actually, while I was at E3, before setting up the Capcom, while they're still setting up, people were competitively trying to play Monster Hunter, which is interesting.
But how do you know that the monster does it always spawn in the exact same spot? Like, do you think
it would probably be a very, very controlled mission in that case. They say that the winners here will get a trophy, a pair of Monster Hunter themed watches, which I wish they showed here. I want to see what those look like, and a trip to Japan to play the game at TGS. So
what is this? Collaboration quests? What are these?
Let's see. It says Monster Hunter launched in August. Let's see. It's coming to Windows in August. Earlier than expected, Capcom PC version of Monster Hunter World will get free updates and collaboration quests following the game's release.
Don't know what those are.
Yeah, I was seeing this too. To go on a slight tangent, that the actual update. Oh, okay.
It's a collaboration quest between
the Final Fantasy stuff.
Final Fantasy
but I was seeing that the Windows version is going to have a different update schedule in terms of like when quests cycle in and out.
Oh, interesting. Than
the console versions, which I mean, I guess makes sense because the consoles have been out for longer, and I guess the PC would
kind of how it goes usually when you have to. I think it's a different developer making it too. Or is it Capcom? It might be Capcom themselves.
I don't know. You're asking too many questions.
Too many questions.
Just too many questions, Mr. Wayne. But yeah, I don't think I would ever play. I love being able to make effective sets and finish monsters quickly in Monster Hunter. I don't know if I'd ever get into a competitive Monster Hunter like scene.
That seems a little much. That seems a little much. I like trying to kill monsters as fast as I can. That's pretty fun. But, like, that's not why I'm there to play the game. I'm there to have fun and knock my friends around and go, oh, I'm sorry, I blew you up with a bomb. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah, that and Ethan. We know Ethan's there for that because that's what happens every time.
Yep. I built a set, although no one's played yet. I built a normal bowgun set that will not knock people around, so I won't disappoint anyone.
What?
Oh. Yeah. What do you know?
So, but nobody's played yet, so it's there whenever that happens.
I played like at some point last week, and then haven't started.
I gotta click my tickets.
I got
Ethan, how's your Street Fighter practice coming in?
I played a little bit.
Are you gonna play next week?
I'll just lose. It's fine. I'll just play. Lose.
Okay.
Good.
That's something noble.
Good.
Like that.
Yeah.
I will probably lose.
You'll always probably get one
super
win
silver. If I face a Dhalsim At any point, I'm losing. I don't think I've won against a
fight you
single
then.
Dawson. Well, that's
Well,
well, thanks, I guess. Yes. No,
It's-
never
it's
mind.
a
I was gonna be
play,
real mean, but then
No,
I
that's
decided
okay. I'm
not
not
to.
good. It's okay.
Hey guys, remember one of the first actual kind of game grab bags we did on the website
Yeah.
was of Rogue Legacy.
This game rocks.
And
It's a good game.
just got an update after 4 years of being out.
4 whole years.
So let's see.
What
Lots of language
did it
stuff, some
actually
cloud
update?
saves, mouse rebinding, a couple new traits added into the game, some boss remixes, a donation box to let players power up their heroes before fighting remix bosses, a new achievement, like a bunch of new stuff. It's kind of weird. They're just like,
It's just like
it's
dump
just
a
weird
bunch of
after
new
4
stuff in
years.
there.
Let's patch this.
This
with
is
stuff.
Cellar Door Games. What else have they made since Rogue Legacy?
They moved something recently. Was it the
What do we got?
Iconoclast? Was it Iconoclast? They
Is
did that one.
them?
I can't remember if that was
Full
them or
Metal
not.
Furies,
Oh,
Full Metal
yeah.
Furies. That it was
which
similar.
looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked good.
But yeah,
Um,
besides that, Rogue Legacy.
Interesting that they randomly came out with this.
kind of dominates their site.
A bunch of older games. Oh, they also made Don't Shit
I
Your
think
Pants.
that
Don't
I
forget.
think that's.
Don't
Yeah.
forget that game's pretty
Don't
good.
Shit Your Pants is actually a pretty fun little. It takes like 10 minutes to play the whole thing, but it's pretty fun. Like it's
pretty
pretty
good.
clever. I think Full Metal Furies didn't do super well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I definitely didn't even know it
um,
was out.
I didn't know it was out. I heard about it, but I mean,
yeah,
I
no, we
remember
watched
seeing
we watched Trailer Trash for it.
Yeah.
Remember?
What's it
but-
currently looking like on
It's
Steam?
very positive on Steam, but yeah, not a whole lot of reviews. Under about 500, which is okay. But
Yeah, I don't
Came
think
out
people-
at
I
the
don't-
beginning of
I
this
don't think
year.
I don't think people hated it or anything. I just don't think it did super great.
Yeah.
Like sales numbers wise,
Yeah,
It's a
seems
bummer.
alright.
But
Bummer for
it
them.
seems like it's fun.
Maybe they're like,
uh,
oh man, we learned a lot from making this game. We'll patch some stuff into Rogue
into
Legacy."
Rogue Legacy,
Yeah.
into our older game.
Mm.
Yeah, weird. Those others don't seem that huge either, though. Is the thing. Like they don't seem like they're nothing. And having multiple languages is great. It means way more people can play the game now. But as far as actual gameplay stuff goes, it's like one or two new things, but
Yeah, that
not something that's gonna make me go and like
Re-download
replay
it.
that
That
play
game
that
came
game
out
again
on
and go like
Switch, didn't it?
Rogue Legacy? Did it?
I would not doubt it.
Or maybe it came out on
It showed
PlayStation
We
Vita.
literally were just on there, and it showed
No.
all the. It says PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, Xbox One,
Is the Vita I
Microsoft
was thinking
Windows,
of, I think.
Linux, Macintosh operating system.
You know, the baby Switch, the Vita.
You know,
Switch 1.
Switch Proto
S-
Proto
Switch-
Switch.
Switch, but not as good.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I added this on the end of this thing here because there's a lot of talk on Twitter today.
Yeah,
About
I saw
Escapist.
part of this, but didn't definitely get the whole.
I will quickly summarize. So the Escapist,
I've
if
heard of
anyone's
them.
been to that website for the last year or so, was completely dead. There was nothing on it except for zero punctuation posting their weekly review, and that was literally it. There
Wow.
was nothing else on the video section of that website for a very long time. And the forums for several years now, since about 2014, were completely taken over by Gamergate people. So that was a big stopping point, and they ended up canceling or not renewing the contracts of all the people who had all those great original web shows or things on them, or they ended up splitting off and doing their own thing. So there's nothing left except for Yahtzee. There's no one writing articles for it anymore. It was pretty much completely dead. It had been either sold or was in the process of being sold, and as it turns out, someone who's been a writer for various video game outlets, I think he wrote for The Escapists back in the day, Russ Pitts, I think he's written for other outlets since then as well, he didn't buy it, but he was involved in the in the he was aiming to buy it himself, and then somebody else bought it, and he partnered with them and is now the editor-in-chief of what is going to be Escapist 2.0 or whatever you want to call it. And he gave this post on Medium, which was just felt really, really tone deaf in it, because his main pitch was like, hey, there's like too much politics in games these days, am I right? And he even makes a nod to like the whole, like, in 2014 and around 2013 and 2014, the whole website kind of got taken over by a bad crowd. I'm not gonna say if it was on the right or left, but you can like look it up or something like that. And then it goes on to say like, we're gonna be leaving at this new site, like we're gonna be leaving politics at the door. I think it's like literally that's a verbatim quote, and it's something along the lines of, yeah, we're leaving politics at the door. We're not gonna try and tell you what you should or shouldn't believe in our coverage of games. Games should be fun, and we're just gonna have it be the escapism of games. Can't wait to get started writing about games again. You know, that kind of blah blah blah. It was not like the whole point of the post. It was just like a couple paragraphs in the post, but it just felt like, as a people and as the games industry over the last like 4 years, it's kind of gone the other way of like, man, like everything's political.
Mm.
You can't like not like, even if you're saying I'm not gonna be political, that itself is,
I was gonna say
showing your politics already.
Yeah, that
like,
shows that you're not in agreement with a lot of the political shifts that have been happening in the game industry, which is
funny because like, as much as I'm not a huge fan of this guy, I used to follow him on Twitter before. Just some weird stuff that he said was weird, but I don't think that, like, I never got the impression he was not liberal. I guess I'll say that. Like, he definitely comes across as like a liberal dude, but like, this is the sort of sentence that is only catering to,
right,
like the right, like at least currently catering to the right, like with that kind of statement, right? The people who are like, stop talking about representation, we just want to talk about games, stop talking about, you know, workers' rights, it's just about the games, man, don't talk about the politics behind it, that kind of thing. So I feel like you're not really catering to anybody else, at least that I can think of. But I want to know what you guys thought of that, like in terms of like, do you think it's possible to be apolitical and talk about games? Because I get like the idea is like, just talk about the gameplay and the mechanics and the art. Is it good or not?
Well,
like,
but see, that's the thing, is that
that's the idea, right? That's the argument if you're trying to try and make that.
True, but I mean, my whole thing is that if you are going to, like, I'm not here to say that, like, to say definitively the games are art or games are not art situation, because obviously, you know, Pac-Man is not necessarily art. You know, what is it actually trying to say? But like, if you're talking about a lot of modern games, specifically a lot of modern narrative games that attempt to be art and attempt to push forward a message, I don't think there's a way in which you discuss those types of games without actually speaking about their politics.
I feel like you can, but in that sense, you are taking a stand at that. Like, look, for example, how The Division 2 loves to say we have no political stance at all. We just are centered around Washington, D.C., a place that's full of, you know, the heartland of American politics. And showing like, oh, hey, you know, you're going to be shooting these dudes in this fallen place, and how does it live? And like, just depicting something that simple, you're going to come down to politics at that point. You know, it's like, oh, do you give to the people or do you take for yourself? Because it's dog eat dog world. That's a political statement. That's something.
Yeah,
that
the idea that a game like The Division 2, which like what is it? The president of Ubisoft was like, Ubisoft was like. Ubisoft was like,
Ubiwatch 2.
Yeah,
they said this game is not about politics.
Like, this game is not politics. Even though it takes place in Washington,
yeah,
you're a paramilitary legal organization trying to like gun down like insurgent terrorists.
Yeah, it's
like,
exactly what I said.
Not
like,
political.
It's so obvious that like, and choosing not to engage in that conversation even a little bit is making a political statement. And then choosing to engage. You kind of can't escape it, I don't think.
There is a Rush song called Free Will, and in it, Geddy Lee, master of the bass guitar and Canadian vocals, says, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what's going on here. You can
Making
saying
not
we're
to
going to remain apolitical,
Hey, you know
is
what?
straight up a political move.
If you walk into a McDonald's and you look at the menu and you're trying to decide which food to get and you decide, I don't want any of this, you walk out, that's the decision.
It is.
You're engaging with McDonald's despite not actually giving them any money. You engage with them at some point.
We're losing sight of
No,
what
I'm just saying. Look, man, if you want to get to the people, you talk to them about food. Is all I'm saying. People being
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
If I have
it's
5
like,
chicken McNuggets.
I feel like it'd be a weird thing to say as like your mission statement anyway. But then like in just the current climate of where we are in the world and like even outside of games right now, like there's a lot of stuff going on and like within
and I
games
get
there's
it,
a lot
like-
of conversations going on. Like it's hard to say like, hey, we're not gonna be political.
And I get it. Like, at some point, you're probably tired, from both, whatever side you're on. You're probably tired of seeing all the political
All
stuff.
the
You just want to escape.
garbage.
You just want to
Yeah.
go into a thing and you want
You
to
want
escape.
to escapeist.
Yeah, but you know what?
The
Hey,
most
if you
es-
can,
the most escape.
but if you can escape that stuff, at some point, that's your privilege. To
Yeah,
be able to
exactly.
escape that sort of thing, and at that point, you're exercising your privilege to do that. Escape.
And by
be more into politics.
thinking that that's like a normal thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other thing that really rubbed me the wrong way was that like then Russ spent the next like half of the day like retweeting people who were like calling this a really bad take, with not much context other than just kind of like snark or smarminess of just like, ooh, people sure are mad about this, huh? Like that kind of like
Proving my point that there's too much politics going on.
yeah. It's yeah.
I always think of that headline from The Onion that says like, feminists so tired of doing feminism work that she just wants to sit for an hour and not think about it for once but can't or something like that. And it just shows just kind of how you are, even if you're not very politically active, like you can't really escape it. And I think that's something you just have to accept. I think there's something you just have to be like, hey, I need to engage this how I feel comfortable with. And I feel like you can't, in this particular time, it's really hard to do that sort of thing. Engage at like a comfortable level. I feel like you have to be either in or out. And that's a choice you have to make. And being out is a choice. And that's a political statement.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this. I think people are already kind of done talking about it.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think the escape is probably won't come back probably fully.
I mean, it sounds like it's gonna come back initially, and we'll see how much of this is just poorly worded tone deafness, and how much of this is actual like, because like here's the real thing. If you're really gonna be like, we're not gonna talk about politics, you're just gonna end up back with what the Escapist was, which was like a place where a bunch of Gamergate people hang out in the forums.
Well,
because
I think it's something that's not very. It doesn't have much takes of like politicalness. I think it's just IGN, where it's just like you open it up and it's just like, it's a bunch of pop culture stuff, and people are calling on
you want
pop culture.
comic book, you want every little last thing about the last comic book movie. We got 10 articles.
That's
about
true.
20 articles about the new Shazam trailer. We analyzed
that's
every
already there.
frame.
That's true.
let you
Ultimately, if they didn't want to be political, then they just wouldn't have said anything, honestly.
Yeah.
In a weird way. But see, that's the thing, is they have to get some kind of attention, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And guess what a good way to do that is? Talk about politics. Even if you're talking about not politics.
Wow, it's great.
Got him.
Yeah, like I could say sex. I can say don't think about sex.
say- You could
I'm
say,
thinking about
Stop
sex!
thinking about sex.
you could say nudes, and then
And then I'll be there.
yeah,
I'll
and then
be
Ricardo.
there.
All right, it's
Just
time
put
for
up
trailer trash.
Trailer trash. Dang on, dudes, get it out.
News, get her done. That's what we say every week when it's time for trailer trash.
We have a double length trailer trash
Let's
today
speed through this,
because
baby.
I fucked up last week, so here we have.
Last
so
week,
hard on yourself.
then nothing happened. There was not a trailer that needed to play. We didn't record a whole hour and a half of podcast last week.
Here
and
is my
haven't
question:
begun.
Are we doing 2 different winners?
Matt's frozen in time.
You guys sound like robots to me. So
Matt
Alright.
is frozen in time.
We're-
Oh
oh,
God,
God,
Matt.
we've lost
We've
Matt.
lost Matt.
He's turned into the boy from Willy Wonka.
Something
robot
is.
call. You guys, internet are down or something
Oh,
like that.
something has gone wrong.
Oh God. Oh, you're back.
He's back.
Yes, I was trying to like lower the bandwidth or something so that it would.
Well, you're
I
back.
could hear you again.
Anyway, 1 or 2 winners this week, gents.
One for last week, one for this week.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Now, should we combine the pools, or should it be 1 winner from the first pool, and 1 winner
No,
from the second
yeah. One for last week, one for this week.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
this is the week of July 19th.
Yep.
Yes, that we did not do a podcast for. Starting with the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies trailer,
Man, what a weird ass trailer.
which is like, I was saying to Ethan, like this trailer plays like a sequel for a game that like, oh yeah, you already know these the characters from Call of Duty Zombies. Everybody knows them. Let's go ahead and find out what crazy situation they're gonna be in next. And it's like, none of these are. What is going on?
I don't think the
No-
characters are the same though. Like I know they had a
No,
bunch,
that's
of,
what I'm
they had a bunch of guest
No.
characters and like.
I
last
don't
one?
know. I don't know anything about Call of Duty Zombies, so I
don't
guess
know, man.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, but we were
But
talking.
I-
Yeah, I was
this-
talking last week. Is there might be some kind of through line through the
yeah, I
other
didn't
Black
know if
Ops
there
Zombies
was.
games?
I heard
but-
there was, but I don't know of it. And this is just a mess. There's 2
Anyway,
weird doctor
there's
people.
It is Left 4 Dead. There's a German doctor man. There's an American dude who goes, "Hey, I'm an American and I'm gonna shoot things." There's a guy who's Japanese. He's got a samurai sword because he's Japanese. And there's Russian. Is he Russian?
I don't know, like, I never
says
He's
anything.
The last guy never says anything. He's got a big
He's
beard.
like,
got a-
with the
Zombies.
Nubian. He's a Toydarian, the last guy.
yeah.
But there's a clone of
The doctor
German
is
guy.
there's a clone of him or another one from another dimension, and he's like, read this book. He's like, I already read the book, and he's like, read it again.
And now the books are different. It's a lot of stuff going
It's
on.
a lot to process. None of it makes sense. None of it actually.
And in the end, guess where they're at?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, baby.
Where
Who is-
it all
who's that?
back to where zombies all began, you know?
Yeah,
Alcatraz
You
have
know.
the calendar, you know.
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz.
Is that the mafia boss?
No, that's Al Capone.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
And he was in Alcatraz.
Alcatraz,
That's why they called it Alcatraz. named
2012
after him.
Alcatraz.
dude.
Alcatraz.
Real
calendar comes in
facts. Hashtag Pixel Legends. Real facts.
I mean, this is just a CGI
it. It's
trailer.
a pretty
so
good
it's
trailer,
not-
but it's
Yeah, it's a fun thing, but it's
it
basically
does
it's
nothing.
basically Left 4 Dead. Like it's the zombie talks at one point. This zombie right here. I'm behind you guys, but the zombie smashes the portal. There's like all these interdimensional portals going on. It's like 50s science or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
It's weird. I feel like that's just like weird Wolfenstein.
I
'Cause Wolfenstein's not weird enough.
just don't think. I honestly don't like this trailer too much.
You don't think?
I don't.
You don't
think?
think?
I don't.
I think it's an alright trailer.
I don't think
It's
it's
fine.
that great.
Well,
Marvel's Spider-Man. That thing is that an alright trailer?
That is a pretty good trailer.
Marvel Spider-Man is like, man, I'm probably gonna get this game.
It's got the Silver Sable.
She's in it. We've
It's got
got-
It's got Miles Morales and a girl who is married. Jane.
Maybe Mary Jane. She
She's
has
got
red
red
hair.
She looks younger. She looks younger.
Yeah,
than,
that's the thing. Is
like, what I'd
Pete seems
expect.
older than both of these friends
But-
of his.
Yeah, like he seems like they're teenagers, and he is 20 in his 20s,
Yeah.
maybe even almost 30s, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's a little bit interesting. So
got the Osborns.
We got the Osborns. We
yeah,
got
the
all your favorite Spider-Man
Rhino.
baddies. Who's your favorite Spider-Man baddie?
Rhino.
He's in it.
Yeah, I like him.
Matt, who's your favorite Spider-Man baddie?
Shocker.
He's in it.
He's
No, he's
He's
not.
probably
that's
in
Electro.
it.
That's Electro.
Oh,
It's not
shoot.
Shocker.
He's probably in it. He's probably
He's
like a
probably
low level.
I like Dark Man.
Like first, he's a dark man.
The guy who's all dark and then has the white hair.
Okay.
I don't know. What is his name?
That guy's a new guy.
That's
he's
a brand new guy invented
So
for the
what's his
game.
name?
I don't know what his fucking
don't
name
know
is.
what
Darkman.
It's not gonna be Darkman.
Actually, Scorpion is probably my favorite Spider-Man.
Scorpion's pretty cool.
He's fine. He all right.
He's my favorite. He's not that great.
I can't actually think of I don't actually very much. I can't really think of
What about Dr. Octopus?
Dr. Octopus. I probably.
Octopus is good. He's not
of them
so
are,
far
not
shown
that
in the
good.
game.
What about the hawk guy in the Fire and Homecoming?
The Vulture.
Michael Keaton.
Vulture.
Michael Keaton. He's named the
I like
Vulture,
Michael
but we can
Keaton.
call him Michael
Yeah,
Keaton.
he's good in that movie.
He's very good in that
He's
movie.
like, you want to date my daughter? You want to date my daughter?
Hey, spoilers.
Oh,
That's a
fuck! Shit.
I was actually kind of surprised with that twist, even
That
though I
twist
was
was really
like,
good.
in hindsight, I was like, oh god, it was a really obvious twist. But
It
it's a
is, but
good
they set it
twist.
up
It's a good
It's a
twist.
really
They
good
set it up
twist.
really well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's
Um,
not black.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like it plays right into your racial.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like he can't be that. It can't be related to anyone we've seen before.
Yep.
Uh,
All right. Let's go to Sausage Sports Club launch trailer, which looks
this
like a
is
barrel of
great.
fun. And I like the
the-
wobbly
the-
physics. Always
the
good.
the wobbly necks is the best way to have necks, and the
Just cute animals.
the corgi is still my
We
favorite.
got corgis. We got eagles. We got alligators. We got sharks.
That's
we-
it. Those are all the things. Yeah,
Bats.
flamingo.
A flamingo.
I like the style of this game a lot. I don't think the gameplay looks that
Oh,
fun.
there's like a bus. I think one of them is a bus. I can't remember if we.
I
saw
think
that
it'll
live.
be all up. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of game, like a lot of game feel. Like it might be really fun to control and
Maybe.
play. Like these
Yeah.
Doesn't
silly,
look super fun
stupid
to
floppy.
control and play, but
It,
maybe.
it, no, it looks
Floppy
like
animals.
it looks like it could be a gang beat.
God,
and
their
that's
names
pretty
are so
fun.
good.
Yeah,
though.
it looks
Ally,
like a
Dirk.
more. It looks like a more
Dirk.
controllable gang beast.
Alley, Jaws,
Honestly.
Flop the frog. Is that a frog? I can't tell what that is.
I think he was a frog.
And then you do this to navigate to
Little
the
pigeon
menus.
man, that cool looking bat.
Yeah, man.
Sportscaster. It looks good. I mean, it looks
This
kind
game
of
looks fun.
It looks cool, but I'll wait. I'll see if it's good. Pretty good. What about Crush Your Enemies? Huh?
The game doesn't look that bad. This trailer's not a great.
This trailer's not great. This trailer has a thing where I
It-
feel
it-
like I see what they're
keeps
going
its
for.
joke going for way too long.
It keeps the joke going way too long, and it's like it keeps looking at you, going, "Hey, you
Do
see
you
the
get
joke?
it?
You see the joke?
This is the
see a
joke
joke?
I just made.
You see a joke?
It's about working out.
It's about a
It's about
gore.
Gore.
It's about killing people. Like,
It's
you
about
see a
how
joke?
like we're tough and manly and not like wimpy baby gamers
Yeah.
like the wimpy babies are.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
like extreme gore? Like that's cool, right? I don't know. You just have that.
dude.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
put it in the game.
Yeah, and then also
Okay.
keep the music going at the same time. It doesn't really fit. Yeah, it's a kind of a bad trailer. It looks like a
Listen.
kind of interesting like tower defense type game. RTS
It's like
thing.
it's like an RTS, like a mini RTS, like a one screen RTS. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Command and Conquer thing they showed at the EA.
A little bit.
Man, I
Um,
pre-registered for that game and it popped up, and I was so excited to try playing it. And then I guess it was a fake release. It wasn't actually ready to be
What?
released.
What are you talking about?
It popped up and said it's ready to download, play it, and I clicked it, and it says, "Oh, you want to unregister?"
That's what you get for
And
the
it's like,
Android store.
oh,
That's what you get for
no,
the Android store. It's,
no.
And the Android store just lies to you. It's, like,
it's
oh.
a fake. You got one of them pirated versions that
The Android store
Got all
doesn't
those
have a
all
good.
this virus on your Android.
Does not have a good recording app, either.
The Android store.
Android software.
You mean Google OS, which is a different
Google
thing?
Chrome?
No,
Okay.
I said what I said.
You say what you say. Anyway, let's go to the next trailer.
Yeah, this game looks fine.
Enter
The
the Gungeon.
Advanced Gungeons and Dragons.
Dragons.
So
Um,
this is a fun little animated trailer with.
yeah, it's hard to tell what this actually means in gameplay.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just a fun trailer.
It's just
Yeah.
like, hey, it's Enter the Gungeon, but it's more fantasy themed now. I guess that's the change,
Yeah,
the difference.
we should still look this up and see if this is actually
Yeah.
like.
No,
I
we've
know.
had a week, and if we didn't do it then, we're not going to do it now. The only big thing that I saw in this trailer was that the
Combined guns.
lady, combines two of her guns,
Pretty
which
cool.
Yeah.
is, I think, a new thing for
Yeah,
this.
I don't remember that being in the original. That game was fun. I wish I played more of it, honestly. It had a really cool co-op. That I
Yeah,
played
it
with
was
one of
really
my
good.
friends. It was pretty fun. It's pretty good. Pretty solid little game. Did you look it up, Matt?
There's an update to the original game.
Is it dollars?
Is it
It's-
dollars?
If you found, it sounds like it's free.
Okay, cool.
That's a
If you
good
found Enter the
dollars.
Gungeon in the past and found it too hard, too stingy, or too slow, this update will be the version for you. If you like it just the way it is, don't worry, we'll get you covered as well. So
No greens.
No greens.
it says update, but so it doesn't say there's any money involved.
It's-
But
Probably not. All right.
yeah.
Impulsion. This is a trippy ass game.
Oh, the update is free. That's what it says. Yeah.
Yay,
Are
free.
you ready for Portal? But it's not.
Portal platforming.
This game looks neat, but I would not be very good at it. So
I don't like the idea of platformers that are
So
first
the
person.
the idea of Impulsion is very similar to Portal in that it's kind of like a testing facility, and one of the guns
the
you
snarky
get,
robot
it was
tells
Snarky
you.
Robot. One of the guns you get shoots something blue. The other one shoots something orange. The blue thing
Makes you go fast.
makes you go fast and lets you jump higher. And then the second
Yeah,
one
or
slows you.
I think
The red one
Yeah,
slows you
yeah.
down and
And
lets
allows
you
you to
jump
jump.
you jump
again.
again a second time.
So you can like change directions with the red, like the red orange one, and then kind of continue your momentum with the blue one, which is what a lot
Yeah.
of these shows.
It could be
are
good.
doing.
But
Yeah,
it's hard
no,
to
and-
tell.
and
It's one of those
the way-
things you
the way
can't look at it and be like,
Well, the way it looks pretty good. Like in terms of like the way it's being played very well.
Yeah, it's definitely.
That's the thing, is that like it's hard for me to tell, will I be any good at this game? Which I don't think I will be, because I'm not that good at these kind of like precision, like fast-paced platformer games. Let alone one in first person, because the Portal doesn't have you do very much of this. Like,
No.
it does not have you do very much.
you can complete almost any
fast.
of the puzzles without.
Yeah, the
being very good at
Portal, like a lot of the Portal platforming is like set up these two, launch yourself, and then maybe shoot a portal like at
The second one
the
as you go.
yeah, at the correct time, so that, and then now shoot another one while you're
Or
airborne.
occasionally you're on a slow-moving platform and you need to like keep shooting
Mhm.
like the orange and the blue.
But it's not like
as
this,
you
which
go, but,
is
like this is like very much
weaving
like
through a lot of lasers and changing your direction a lot in midair, kind of wall jumping and spider climbing and doing a lot of crazy stuff. It looks really cool. The art style is very minimalist and industrial sort of labs.
and it has a snarky robot talking at you.
Yeah,
Computer
that
person.
he was fine. He wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't offensive.
overly bad, but he
Yeah.
was
No,
also,
it's not. It's not. It doesn't think it's so funny like some of them. It's like
Yeah.
some games that try to do this kind of
crush
thing.
your
Yeah.
enemies.
Indeed.
Sea of Thieves, baby.
Sea of Thieves.
Would you
Cursed
like to see
Sail.
some scary skeleton mans
Skeletons?
go into the water and be scary?
I mean,
Yes.
sure.
All right.
Well, you can now. You can in Sea of Thieves coming out the 31st, 28th. What day
This
was it?
is
28th.
Cursed Sails.
It's basically means that the skeletons are going to be rolling around on their boats and they're going to attack you, and you got to fight them off.
Yeah, but their boats can go underwater.
Ah.
That's not
And-
fair. Our boats can't go underwater.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can go underwater. You can just swim, and then
It's
sharks
not
will get
balanced.
you. This
It's
looks.
not
This is a pretty good
balanced.
trailer. It's
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little cinematic trailer of the.
It's a nice little like. Just I like how regularly they're releasing stuff since like about June or so.
gotta.
They've been just like
I gotta. This
updating
is
it.
almost a No Man's Sky game.
almost. They didn't quite. They
They didn't hype
definitely
it up as
messaged a lot.
much.
They messaged it a lot better than No Man's Sky.
Yeah. But it's definitely one of those things you look at and you go, oh, there's not much here, but it's fun. What's here is fun. Just
Yeah,
a
at least
little
they didn't say there was gonna be a bunch of
multiplayer and there
stuff.
wasn't multiplayer.
well, and there was gonna be a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
and then there wasn't a bunch of stuff.
there was
They were
never
just
a
like,
bunch
man,
of stuff.
hey, won't it be fun to be a pirate? And it's like, yeah, what can you do? It's like, you can totally be a pirate, man.
You want to be a pirate?
Well, you can be a pirate, lad. You can go out there and you can click one of these videos at the end of the trailer here.
What about Sonic Mania Plus infomercial?
oh shit, this
You want to
is
buy
dumb.
this game? Yeah, this is pretty dumb.
It's dumb, but
I like it. I like how on
behind
the
it,
back
yeah.
there's a big thing that just says video games. I like the fact that they made a $60 fake FPS game, which just looks really bad.
It looks really good, bad.
Yeah, and comparing it to Sonic Mania and this weird salesman, it really doesn't want you to buy Sonic Mania for some reason. He wants you to really buy this $60 game.
Yeah, because he wants you to spend more money, and he's also saying that you're a hardcore gamer. You want, this dark, gritty game that has loot boxes in it. Because the more money you spend, the more
the better the game
is. And then
I also like how it's called Finger Guns. Like that's a great name, and it's also just got a dude shooting.
Oh shit, that dude has a shield.
And it has like this like Duke Nukem 3D like pixelated 3D look of like that late 90s of just like I got like these finger guns running around.
It feels more to me like when Duke Nukem Forever came out and everything's kind of like weirdly rounded and kind of like I don't know. It's cool, but they're
also,
advertising like this
CRTs.
Box. Oh yeah,
they're playing them both on CRTs.
No input lag.
I talked about this last week, but I found like the jokes didn't hit really well for me on this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate
it just like
what they were trying to do, but I feel like it didn't. It leaned a little bit too much, too heavily on like, let's dunk on modern games instead of like being a little bit more like just a cheesy throwback commercial. Like
yeah, which is really funny to talk about because like the modern Sonic games suck ass. So like it really like
they do bring that up. This is the highest rated Sonic game in 15 years.
Yeah, every time they bring up like the jokes or like not even jokes, but it's like Sonic Mania is the best rated Sonic game in 15 years. It's the best selling Sonic. I'm like, this is like shouldn't be a brag for you guys. This is like basically it's a fan game that you didn't even make, and it's a clone of your just the same games you brought out in 1993. Like it is not a compliment.
Listen, we gave the people what they wanted, so we could make what our real vision was, which was Sonic
Forces, which
our true vision.
That was
what we really want. What the kids want these days. This is for old people.
I want their original characters in the Sonic game. You can't make your original character in Sonic Plus.
So
Sonic Mania Plus.
It's true. You're right. Should we decide? They also had these weird new characters. What are they called? Like Nuts?
Nuts?
Isn't one of the characters called Nuts?
No, it's Mighty and Ray.
And Ray.
Nuts.
And they're not new. Those are
probably why.
Nuts.
They're not
you're
new.
Thinking about
those
the Nut Job. Your favorite movie.
My favorite movie. My current icon on Discord.
Okay.
Which I
what's the winner?
Not sure why that is.
What's the winner for last week's trailer trash?
I think it is.
This is the mid difference because Ricardo and I already know what we voted last time. So
but I might change.
Yeah, we'll see.
Spider-Man.
Interesting.
I was gonna say Sausage Sports Club.
Sausage Sports Club was my choice last week. I'm sticking with it.
Fine, Sausage Sports Club
I forgot what you picked. I picked Impulsion last week, but I mean, I never picked Impulsion because last week didn't happen.
Last week was not real. Part
2. Get it out.
Trash Part 2. The Banner Saga 3.
Yes.
Whenever I say the Banner Saga, I can if I say it too fast, I end up saying the Banner Saga,
the Eric Bana Saga,
or the Banner Saga. It's really hard to say fast. It's hard to say
a good
the Banner Saga.
Delicious.
The Banner Saga. The Banner Saga.
The Banner Saga
3. The Banner Saga 3. The Banner Saga 3. The launch trailer. It is out now, or it will be out this week. I can't remember.
It says launch trailer, so it has to be out now.
This is a trailer that has clips from all three of the games. And that world, I was saying to the trailer, I'm like, if that game has a happy ending, I'll be very surprised. Maybe bittersweet.
It's definitely
maybe a bittersweet ending,
trailer that kind of pulls on the fact that, hey, you've played the first two games, right? I mean, it still showcases the really great art style in these games and the awesome animation in some of the cutscenes.
The first game makes it pretty clear, and that's the only one I finished. That whole world, that whole story of these games is like the world is ending, like literally falling apart.
Yeah.
So again, maybe there's some magical way that this gets like resolved, but like I just don't see like even in this trailer, everything is pretty grim. Like, there's a lot of just like things are going bad for everybody here.
Such a cool looking game though. It's just weird that like,
oh yeah,
it's still weird that's like a tactical game to me. Even though it's not a bad thing, it's just like, I don't know, like I see all this like beautiful art and I'm like, oh man.
And it's definitely funny that in this trailer there's only about a couple of scenes that actually show the gameplay. It's all just showing off the animation.
That's because I think the gameplay doesn't really show very well in video, you know what I mean?
I agree, but the animation still comes through really well in the gameplay.
Oh yeah,
like,
it does, yeah, because the game is animated like that,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree, but I can see why they did this for the trailer. Like they want to build up like hype and stuff like that. This is a really good game. I know,
it makes you want to be like, oh man, I should play them all now that they're all out.
I have the first. I'm probably gonna replay the first one because I remember the plot of what happened in that game, but the second one starts and there's like a bunch of side characters in the first game that are now just like they're still there, and they're like, yeah, and Eric's here and Lehman, and it's like, who, what is like, what? I don't remember who these guys are. Like,
they're important now.
Yeah, they were there. They were there in the first game.
Even though you didn't make them important in the first game.
Yeah, that was the problem of just being like, and also for some reason my save didn't carry over, so it just gave me the default starting people, which meant that like I was like, oh no, this guy's not leveled up the way I want, and this other guy that I never used is leveled up really high, and I don't, stuff like that. It was weird. So, this game looks really cool. I'm excited to go and finish these trailers, to finish these finish that series.
Well, too bad I got another trailer still, and it's Fractured Lands, which looks like Mad Max Battle Royale.
It does,
with emphasis on the cars.
It is like, it looks like everybody spawns in a vehicle. Maybe it's a smaller amount of people in each map going on. It looks like there's a lot of actual customization for your vehicles and stuff, but ultimately it boils down to there's actually a lot of character customization too. It boils down to a shooter, which is a battle royale game.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. Like it's definitely an interesting way for that genre to go. Like it's definitely a way to spin that genre to make the emphasis on vehicle combat.
Right.
Twisted Metal Battle Royale.
Like I don't know. Yeah, this game, how good this game is gonna depend on two things, and it is basically like, is it going to be not totally broken? Right. First and most important thing. Second thing is like, how do you balance this game where everyone's like customizing their weapons and their cars and have that
also how's the driving feel? Yeah, that's the third one.
That's probably key as well.
Yeah. It has potential. It looks cool. I like the style.
Yeah,
of
it looks cool. It's got
I like the Doom music.
As much as I thought PUBG was pretty fun, I don't really like the way it looks that much. Or, you know what I mean? I have no devotion to like its realism
art
style. Yeah. So
what about this game? What do you have more art style for little miniature figurines and Octoon Cthulhu tactics?
This didn't show enough of what
it showed literally nothing.
I was really hoping this game this trailer would show something, because when I saw the title of it, I was like, oh man, what the heck is this thing? But it's like, what if World War II and Nazis are the bad guys, and you're playing as a diverse multiracial group of heroes, and Cthulhu, and its tactics? That is basically the pitch of this game. It even says that much in the game. Like, the Nazis aren't the worst. The Nazis aren't the worst.
Yeah.
Evil or something like that.
Which is honestly, now that you kind of think about it, it's kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But also,
I
get what they were saying.
Like, okay.
I get they were saying that, like, but there's this world devourer out there, but it's still just like, they're Nazis though, man.
All of the
world devourer would probably worse than Nazis. Just want to see the whole world. Like,
I guess
that's pretty bad too. They don't see them as humans either.
You're right.
They do it on a much bigger scale.
Both sides, am I right? The world devourers and then
listen, games are not political, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They're completely separated from anything. I always just know that I always just like that that in anything to do with Cthulhu type stuff, it just ends up with like you're just gonna shoot Cthulhu in the end, and that's how you win.
Shoot him.
It's just gonna shoot this.
Just like in Shadow of Mordor, you just fucking fight Sauron at the end, and it's just like you beat him, all right.
No, in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah. You fight like
you fight some like other lame dude, don't you?
Yeah. That's why that game is so bad. Because you just fight like that with the hands of Sauron or something like
whatever,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Who cares? That game sucks. No,
that game has a very bad ending.
I'm just don't know how this game is. It just gonna be like moving around?
I think it's gonna
figures?
be. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like.
Or is it
gonna
actually
game,
be
like
like
BattleTech, where it's like this is just an actual board game that
but
they've
like
just done all the stuff.
Yeah, is this based off an existing property? Because Octoon Cthulhu Tactics is a really weird name.
It is a weird name. What's up?
I was gonna try to look it up, but I can't because I'm playing the trailer trash. So
what are you doing?
I'll look it up.
While we're doing that, let's go to Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX.
Yeah, it is an RPG. Octoon Cthulhu is an RPG that already exists.
Interesting.
So this is a tactics game based.
What about the classic RPG, Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2?
Oh, that sounds crazy.
Do you like Shin Megami Tensei, guys? I feel like you guys all do.
Do you like Jack Frost?
Hee ho.
You mean this game right here, which you can't see? Oh, they're playing right now. It's the title screen. This is a free-to-play game. However,
I thought you weren't gonna download it.
Minors must receive consent from a guardian when starting the game.
These Shin Megami Tensei games got some people saying get bent in there. There's some sexy ladies.
I agreed. I didn't even read the thing.
Music.
Guys, there's a cutscene playing.
So yeah, this game looks super duper stylish as the Shin Megami Tensei game should.
You're a devil summoner. You can communicate with the devils, and you can try and get them to join
that would make sense. That totally makes sense. No, I'm joking. The music sounds great in this trailer. The graphics actually look pretty good for a mobile game. Actually, pretty good. Just pretty good in general.
It says graphic settings. The first mobile game.
What's Persona 5? Isn't that a PS3 game? But it like.
Persona 5?
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was a PS3.
Persona 5 it was originally a PS3 game.
It came out on PS3 as well, didn't it?
Not in the West.
Not in the West, but it shipped on PS4 here. But it did come out on PS3.
Huh.
So I'm just saying those graphics look pretty good regardless of what's this you play on. It's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It looks good despite being old.
Yeah. It seems like it's probably gonna be a gacha game. I mean, it seems that would make the most sense for a Shin Megami Tensei game.
Matt.
Bitch.
Gotcha. No more gacha questions.
It's a cool looking game, but because it's a gacha mobile game, I'm kind of like, I'm good.
Nah, I'm not really interested.
Says the person who downloaded it.
I downloaded it because like it was free and I just want to see what it looked like, but I'm not really, honestly not interested.
Why did I put this on here?
Why did you
put the adaptive
controllers? Because it's so satisfying to watch this box get open.
It is a good packaging.
This is the Xbox adaptive controller. There's a trailer.
I feel like this should not count as an option for the trailer.
For them unboxing it
digitally, showing how easy it is if you have disabilities to
even just unbox the damn thing.
Yeah, you can unbox everything in this trailer with your mouth, apparently.
Everything just is like so cool, so satisfying, so good looking.
Just folds open.
That's it. I like it.
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah. Makes you want to buy it.
It has no music and it's just this silent digital animation of this opening of a box.
Should we put stock music in here? We got off YouTube? Nah. Silent. Keep it silent. What about Boundless, though?
Moving on to Boundless. Boundless is like, hey, what if every game in the last 5 years but one game?
Minecraft. No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. We got infinite planets. We got blocks and building. We got base building. You could build a town. You can have there's NPCs. There's multiple players. You've got economies. You've got weapons. You can buy things. You can set up a store. You can build your own store. You can you could grapple hook. We got grappling hook in this game. We've got freaking what don't you have in this game? Got planets. I don't know what this game is.
I don't know where this game begins and ends. Like it's just has a lot of promise, and I don't know like what I can really do. It just looks like a lot of stuff. You guys ever seen that Roblox game?
See, that's the thing that like I have no idea what that is, but
It's
like
huge, though.
it's huge. But yeah, I don't know what it
God,
is.
Are we old now?
Maybe.
We don't know what Roblox is, but it's like one of the biggest.
Floss
Uh,
if you
did
can't.
I told you about that time I logged into. Oh, I don't know if I told you this, but I played the VR Rec Room Battle Royale
yes,
game.
you told me this.
I think I told Ricardo. I didn't tell you, Matt.
No, what? No, I didn't
And I
do
just
this.
log in and I get in that battle bus where you're gonna drop off, you know, and I just see a bunch of kids being like, "Let's all floss," and they all just start flossing, and I'm like, man, VR is weird and I'm old.
Kids can just do that now.
They just do
like
it.
they
It's
can
just-
lifely just
Mine,
stand up and just.
I'm
immediately
gonna
do it.
nod and pretend like I already know what that is. That's how old I am.
and there's kids
Lawson.
kids do the Fortnite dances. All
Yeah,
over the
all
place.
of the Fortnite.
When I saw
dances.
my niece do it, she just is like, "I'm doing a Fortnite dance," and she did it, and I'm like, I don't think she's even seen
And
Fortnite.
she was like,
yeah,
and then
it
she-
was like it's
and then
crazy,
she
man.
was like,
People love Fortnite.
and then she was like,
At least we know what Fortnite is. I feel
she
okay
was
about
like-
that. Yeah.
It is insane how much that game has taken off. Yeah.
Roblox is crazier to me because I don't.
Boundless.
understand Roblox.
Is,
Roblox to me is,
it's
yeah.
a game
Roblox
of
looks bad.
infinite.
it does. This game looks interesting. I
Here's
feel
the
like the
thing,
art
Ethan.
style is not
Here's the
cohesive in a
thing.
weird way.
Stuff becoming popular does not necessarily mean that thing is good. What we have to always remember when stuff catches on, becomes infinitely popular.
That's true.
The Transformers movies still make a bajillion $1 million every time they come out.
You're right. You're right. And I guess that could happen. That's about that time for games to start doing that same thing.
Yes, there
All
was
right.
never a bad game that was popular before.
Yeah. Before this, only good games became. It was
Doesn't become
never
popular.
I don't know. Fucking Madden.
WWE anything.
Yeah, you're right.
The
WWE, you got it.
games.
You got it.
Games
Madden.
still make-
I mean, some people
Yeah.
like Madden, I guess, but
Well,
like
Madden's all right.
No, Madden's yeah, but like
Yeah,
there are
but,
plenty of iterations of Madden that are either bad or are just like literally the same game.
I guess you're right. The Call of Duty stale parts where it starts getting kind of stale.
stale parts where they get stale.
Yeah, the
Stale
stale
parts.
really-
That's the part that would get the most stale. Is the stale part.
You
I
know
would
what?
assume.
You know what is not stale yet because it's the first sequel it's ever had. Is This Is the Police 2?
This is the stale police.
That's the sound of the police.
This trailer is depressing.
It's just.
It's
looks-
just a
do-
continuous pan.
Do you like
across
Fargo?
It's like
some kind of
it's-
rural.
It's a continuous pan across a
northeastern-
rural corrupt police
I'm
force.
gonna say it overstays its welcome a little bit. It's it could have been maybe
It's
half
like,
as long.
hey, you want to see some more shit? You want to see some more depressing? Like, here's a murder. Here's some police torturing a dude. Here's some police apparently
fire.
getting attacked by
A bunch of people in a
Molotov
cabin.
cocktails. Like,
There's some police stopping a domestic dispute. Yeah, it's a bunch of. It's
it's just a bunch of like picture.
But
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
just
it
a bunch
sets a
of-
tone. I mean, there's nothing else. There's no gameplay. I mean, the first. I don't even know. I own This Is the Police one. I don't know how it looks. I just got it in one of those bundle packs.
This looks like that. This seems.
It has the same art style, but I don't know what the actual gameplay is. Like
It's kind of like a choose your own adventure, I think, a little
Maybe?
bit.
Okay, I thought it had a little more managing mechanics than that, like a little bit more.
It
think
might-
it's
I think it
kinda
might have
like
some
a-
mechanics with
it's like a. I feel like it's kind of like a management, but it is also like there's stuff happens.
It's choices and
What's your
things.
what's the choice?
It's like The Sims then. When you send them off to a job, and it's like,
Maybe.
No,
like, do you
not
want to
like The
eavesdrop
Sims.
on your
The Sims
boss?
has
Or
no-
should
It's
you
like-
do your own cubicle?
And it's like I want a woohoo.
Yeah.
Every time, no matter what the question is.
Every time, yes, woohoo,
Woohoo.
woohoo.
Um,
Guacamelee 2, hype as fuck. Want to play this game?
Yes.
this
El
game looks-
Mariachi
I thought this game was
Loco.
already out though. I was
Nah.
the most surprised. And this game got announced a while ago, right? This is not.
Well, they've re-released the first one so many times.
They
I could
have.
understand.
Maybe
where you
that's-
might think
yeah,
that,
It's
maybe
come
like-
out a
that's
couple
what I'm thinking of.
times. And
But this is not the announcement though, right? This
No,
game's
this
already
is
announced.
the
this
announcement
is
for
when
the
it's coming
day, yeah, and
Yes,
the art
okay.
style is pretty similar, so I mean, I could see how it doesn't seem that much crazy
I
different.
should
But
really play the first.
the first
one of these.
Guacamelee is one of my favorite Metroidvania type games
Mhm.
because it's got cool like wrestling, fighting, and stuff. Oh, August 21st, very
There's
nice.
like that. Is there like a dark world, light world
Yes.
mechanic thing going on too?
You can go to the land of the dead and the land of the living.
Man, just like Coco.
It's just like Coco.
Hey.
Yeah, Coco came out
Remember
first.
me.
Oh. Every time I
Sad-
see a
so
box
sad.
on a one of those, every time I do my login details, I remember me. I get sad.
Every time you play the game, remember me.
I
You
get
get
sad. Yeah,
sad.
I get sad. The game's not that great.
Oh, that game was fun. That game was
I don't know. I
great.
never played it.
Um,
I heard it was okay.
yeah, I heard it was like.
But this
It's not like
is
the game
something we can all
Vampire.
get hype about. We don't have to remember. Realm Royale, baby.
Realm Royale.
Yeah, are we
baby.
hype about this? I didn't realize we
I'm
were hyped
excited.
about
I'm
this.
pretty
excited to
excited
play
for it.
this.
I'm looking for something that is not PUBG and I don't hate as much as Fortnite.
Yeah,
What about,
I'm kind of looking
what about
for something.
what about fractured lands?
Yeah, sure. But like this has already been out and people have been playing this and seem to like it. I'm
this
just
this
looking.
looks like a very polished game.
I'm looking for something that like I like
Has
Fortnite.
no building.
I was gonna say I like Fortnite in concept. I don't want to fucking build.
I don't want to build.
I don't.
I just want to shoot, man.
I want to shoot mans. And this, so the Realm Royale is from High Res. They make Smite. They make Paladins. And so the kind of the crux of this one is that it's a battle royale game, but it is class based. Each class has a unique ability. You can also summon mounts, and also you can.
And you turn into a chicken right before you die.
Yes, you can upgrade your
Seems to be no
weapons,
matter
and then
what.
when you get downed, essentially, you turn into a chicken and can kind of run for
Kinda like
cover.
that a lot.
And I believe if you are able to stay alive as a chicken long enough, you will respawn back as a human. But it's very difficult. So this trailer just has a lot of chickens just getting blapped up.
Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
It seems like once you're a chicken, you're basically dead. Like
You
unless
can run, but
something,
you're probably. I mean,
unless
it's like
something
being downed
amazing
in
happens.
PUBG. Like you're pretty much dead unless you can get resurrected. You know.
Yeah, but this seems to happen every time, no matter what. Whereas PUBG, it only happens in group games. This seems to imply that you'll get turned into a chicken.
Yeah, this is straight up like any mode. You turn into this chicken. And
Yeah.
it's, again, I feel like it's a respawn counter, and you can come back if you manage to get away.
I just
Or-
want to know how class base works, like how they balance all those. So it'll be interesting to see.
I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine
I
it's just a
mean-
very simple set of classes, right? Like it's probably very much like each person has one special ability,
Yeah,
maybe
and
two.
and it might be a situation. I don't know if there's definitely shows in here you can take weapons to a forge and make them improved versions of those weapons. So like say in like Fortnite talk, you get a gray weapon. If you take it to a forge, you can turn it into a blue weapon.
Yeah,
say,
I don't like that stuff where you have to find like better.
Yeah, I
class
don't like loot
weapons.
in a game where I'm gonna spawn in with nothing and then have to like.
Mm.
I mean, I don't
Level
mind as
up.
much as PUBG because it's like, oh, cool, I got the SMG. Like, I know what this does. It's gonna be the same as the SMG that other guy has, and you can see it far away. But then it's like, oh, now I have this color stuff in between. But you know,
Yeah.
maybe it won't be as bad. Maybe the thing I really hate is just the building, which I do.
Definitely the building. I'm
The building
not,
sucks.
not a fan of in Fortnite. I've gotten better.
I'm too
at
old. I
it
can't build.
progressively.
My back is too bad.
I've gotten progressively better at it, but like it's still just such a like I've watched like Ninja play, and it's like this is just a completely different language of a game that I don't really.
He does use completely different language. Language you
Oh
should
yeah,
use.
you're right.
Got him.
So what?
All right,
wins
well that's
trailer
what
trash?
wins the trailer trash this week, everybody.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say I like the Banner Saga. I like the Banner Saga games, and I thought this trailer was pretty cool, and the artwork is still beautiful. And I'm gonna say that one.
I'll agree. I think.
Yeah.
I'll agree.
It's a good send-off trailer too, because they use like older stuff too, and it's like, man, that game looks really pretty. It's got a unique style that almost no other game has.
Right.
So
It is.
All right.
now.
Let's go with the Banner Saga 3 is the winner this week, and man, that about wraps it up for our extra long podcast this week.
Hey.
extra long.
But that'll probably make it because next week we'll probably be having a shorter one as we get ready for Evo.
Yeah.
We'll be recording a day earlier. It'll be on
Wednesday. Yep.
Wednesday seems like.
oh, I have got a thing on Wednesday that I need to cancel then.
Cancel that thing. You got a podcast.
gonna
Gotta
say-
get that Evo hype podcast.
we rejected my plan, which
Yeah,
was
no
to
problem.
record at Evo, which I think
No, too drunk.
would have been. There's no such thing. It's just, I mean, you just poured 2 giant tiki drinks to start this podcast over there. So
But
I
that's
don't
at the
think-
beginning.
I have
During
no
Evo, we keep
recollection.
drinking. We'll just keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Keep
Um,
going. Never
so we
stop.
won't be doing
keep
that.
going.
We won't be doing it at Evo. We'll be doing it before we leave, and I'll have to figure out how to edit that, I guess. Or maybe I'll just put up the YouTube version. Just make that the easy way out. Yeah, so check that out. Next week we'll be live at twitch.tv/pixel_legends. Our Twitter page is also pixel_legends. And you can check out all of our stuff on pixellegends.com. Ricardo did a JoJo stream. We talked about it earlier in the podcast. You can see that on YouTube and on the website. And yeah, Ethan's been streaming Overlord, not Overwatch, Overlord.
Almost done
every
with that
Monday.
game. Coming up to the end here.
Game's
Probably last stream will be on Monday.
Done. Yeah, you're in the
Maybe.
Dwarven area last time I saw you, right?
Yeah, I just got to the desert, which here's the end game, and I'm very scared I can't go back and actually finish up the other stuff, the DLC, like the.
No, you'll be able to do it.
Okay, because I read that does the end game, so I think I'm gonna go back and clear up everything beforehand, and then.
No, you can complete the game and then it'll load you back
It'll
in
spit
because
you
the
back into the
DLC
world.
the DLC was made to be a post game.
Oh really?
That makes sense.
Thing.
I read some stuff that it
Um,
wasn't. I was reading some walkthroughs. Also, by the way, walkthroughs of 2007 on IGN, not a good thing.
Not good.
Not good writing, not good political views, not good word usage.
man.
Just a lot of weird stuff.
They're like, say
have a
whatever
cho-
you want to her. She's a woman. Who cares?
I have
It's
basically
is
like
that.
that. Yeah, I have a quote I'm gonna read on the stream. If y'all want to tune in, doesn't make sense.
You
But
keep
somehow
recording
it's
too,
offensive.
you keep starting too early on Monday. I have a thing on Monday nights. Eve at 8.
I mean, it goes
That's
for a while. It's 8:30 and goes till like.
I came back for the gym
yeah.
and was like, he was still
It
streaming.
Yeah.
starts off at 8:30 and then goes until about 11:30. So you got a good window there to pop in.
Anyway, check that out. Check out all that stuff. We'll be at Evo next week. We'll be doing a podcast right before that, and then you'll be hearing thoughts about Evo the week after that. So
Maybe
stay
some
tuned.
Updates from Evo? Probably just
Maybe?
in the form of a dumb picture that I chose to load into the Pixel Legends account because I was drunk.
because you were too
instead.
drunk to load into the right account. We'll go ahead and you'll just have to stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening.